And we are live. What's good, Josh? Your man, DL saying, welcome to our Really Want to Know podcast. Y'all, what's good? What's good? Sitting here checking the sound. Y'all know how we get down. Sound is all right. Yo, what's happening, man? Happy Thursday. Today is Thursday. As y'all know, I'm a little out of sorts. My routine has been shaking up a bit. My little girl is sick. She's been sick all week. Poor little soldier. She's been out there being a tough little paratrooper, but she caught something. We had to finally go to the doctor, she way early today was checking her temperature, and it was way up there. Like, time to go see a doctor. And they were just talking about, you know what they say. They're not quite sure what it is. All we think is they run all the tests. Well, everything came back negative. She's just sick, and it is what it is. So we should be coming up on the end of whatever it is she has. Ooh, boy, I tell you, being a dad is fun, but boy, I'm sitting around here. I really don't know what day of the week it is. I'm just sitting around this joint. So I haven't been cranking out the content as hard as I normally do. I normally do a couple shows a day. I've just been doing the one show a day. But it is what it is. I'm always gonna, I'm always gonna be out here cranking, making it work. Yesterday we had a pretty good show. Shout out to Brother Tarus. It was part one of the breakdown of Myron Gains and Cheyenne Reynolds on grilling. So we're gonna finish that up today. Last night I was on Black Man Unfiltered Network. I was on Unapologetic with Mandriel and Shushu. Hey y'all, we were acting up last night on that stream. It was a good time. We had a good time. He had actually a really good show. Everyone out there seems to be talking about the same topic, man, and that is, the weak man situation in America, epidemic. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to call it. There's so many weak men in America now. And we were over there, Brother Mandriel. I had a really good show about that. He put his top five things that men should do, top 5 elements of being a man, I think. Really good. Go check that out. It's on the Black Man Unfiltered Network. Go check that out. We were over there. I see you, Brother Michael. What's good, fam? Thanks for coming through. I see you, bro. Brother Hayoka is always is there as well. What's up? Appreciate that. Top OG. I appreciate that, man. Y'all know I'm old. I ain't mad. Glad I made it. So glad I made it. Brother Hayoka. Yeah. Oh, she's fine. Like I said, my little baby's tough, man. She's a tough little paratrooper, man. She'll be all right. She probably, she just need rest and fluids, and we went out and got her. She wanted a bunch of fruit, so we ain't got her a bunch of fruit. She's been drinking tons of water. She'll be fine. Tonight's probably going to be the worst part, or not the worst part, but, like tonight, then tomorrow, and then by Saturday, she should be good. Saturday, Sunday, she should be good. So it was like, it's bittersweet for her. She's sick, which is like, that's the bad news. But the good news is she didn't have to go to school, so she's all happy. You know what I mean? When she does crack little smiles because of that. But yeah, shout out to my little paratrooper. She's doing her thing. Man, I wanted to get in here and I wanted to do part 2. I wanted to finish up the breakdown of grilling with Myron and Cheyenne, which was a really good episode. And it's just so many people are taking away so many different things. And I think a lot of them are missing the meat, and a lot of them are missing opportunities to have conversations and kind of grow. It seems that most people on one side are, they don't like the tone. They don't like the words that are being used. They don't like, whatever. And the other side, people are like, okay, get past that. Let's get to the substance of it all. You know what I mean? The thing is this. He's making some good points talking about Myron Gains. He's making some good points. These are things that men are talking about. This red pill manosphere stuff is slowly making its way into mainstream because of YouTube, because of social media, because of TikTok, which I hate. TikTok is a weapon devised by the communist China to destroy America. It is the Trojan horse. But most Americans have no idea what I'm talking about when I say the Trojan horse, and that's a problem right? Because we are not educated in this country. Americans are stupid. Just know it's bad. That's what the Trojan horse is, bad. TikTok, bad. Remember that, y'all. The Chinese are tracking every single thing you do, and they are pushing narratives to divide America. I'll talk about that later on, probably next week. People, y'all need to wake up. Y'all need to open up your eyes to what's going on. But yeah, so there's these narratives being pushed, and TikTok is pushing one, and you got all these different social media platforms. And the thing is this: men and women in America are growing apart at a record pace, and they are hurting for it. Men and women are hurting. So, I look at social media and like YouTube in particular and all these other platforms, it's a double-edged sword. It can hurt us, but it can also help us, right? So if what I'm trying to do is get people to listen, get people to take this stuff in, get people to put it in the old,
think tank, Arch. Nothing gets past the old think tank. Nothing.
If we could put it in the old think tank, maybe we can solve some of these issues. Sister Candace in the house. What's good, love? Always a pleasure to see you, brother Colonel Standard as well. What's good? I'm glad y'all are here. So let's get into the grilling. Let's get back to that. That was I want to do that one. I'll do this one. Let's get back to that. So we managed to get through 10 minutes of the video. And I only want to do about 30 minutes of the video. We managed to get through 10 minutes of the 30 that I wanted to cover. Because we have Brother Tarus, who is new to the YouTube trenches. He's very new to what's going on. He's a stand-up guy. Shout out to you, Brother Tarus. I'm so glad you were willing to do the show yesterday. It was a good time. But he had a lot of questions, and he didn't understand the manosphere. In his mind, he thought that it was all set in stone, and this is what it is. And men are just beating their chests and saying women must be submissive and get in the kitchen and da-da-da-da. It's like, nah, bro, it's not like that. It's not like that at all. You know what I mean? And he was able, with my help, with the help of Brother JT and Brother Mandrell and Brother Hayoka, was able to see that, it's fluid. Like, yes, sir, it's fluid. So what's going on in the manosphere is absolutely fluid. So it's not craziness like that. And he wants to help. So shout out to Brother Tarus. He definitely wants to help these young men out here and also help some of these young women. There's a lot going on that, we all could be getting involved and helping out with. You feel me? You know what I mean? So let's get into it. Let's talk. Let's run this. We're gonna run this from there's a part here in my notes where Myron was talking about the code, right? And I definitely had my notes down here, and I definitely wanted to talk about this part. So let's check this part out, and I'll give y'all my little 2 cents.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in New Britain, Connecticut.
Okay.
2 hours north of New York City.
So what was your upbringing like?
Great. Parents were together the whole time. Stable. I had a sister, brother. Still.
And you know what? Uncle Saint messed up his own little time hacks. I don't know what's wrong with me. Y'all know what I get. I get the old,
You big dummy.
so here we go. Let's go.
Like, okay, deal with the girl, size her up, figure out what kind of chick she is, and then bam. You can't afford to have things that clout your inhibition or your ability to go out there and create and become a better version of yourself. And I think that's why I'm really big on not drinking, doing drugs, any of that stuff. You got to be focused all the time.
So how do you find dating then, with the way that you are?
I mean, when you understand the code, it's plug and play. It's like, okay, deal with the girl, size her up, figure out what kind of chick she is, and then bam, you already know kind of how to move.
So what's the code?
Depends on the girl.
Okay.
You got to be able to adapt based on the woman that you're sitting across the table from. Yeah, I have the female codes in my sleeves. I know pretty much what they all are.
Okay, so how you adapt?
So, and I want to start with this for the fellas out there who are still in the streets. You're out here trying to talk to women. Do not have this conversation with a woman if you're out in the real world trying to have a date. Don't do this. You're not Myron. You're not on TV. This is not the way if you're trying to really romance a woman. All right, I just want to get that out there right now. Fellas, don't do it. Especially you guys who are just starting to come up understand the game, understanding what's going on, because code is just another word for game or understanding. Don't do this. This will definitely end your encounter with this particular woman, all right? Don't do it. There's so many dudes out there doing this. I don't know why. So I wanted to throw that out there right off rip. So Cheyenne is sitting here and she's really like, what do you mean? What's code? Most women don't understand that guys who know how to womanize, guys who know how to maneuver with women and around women, they understand this game, man. There's absolutely game to it, right? It's definitely a code. And what Myron's about to get into is stuff that he has picked up over the years. Like if I'm out and about and I'm on the hunt, so to speak, and I'm at a lounge, right? And I'm at the bar. I don't have a table yet, or I'm away from my section. I'm away from my table. I'm at the bar, and a young woman walks up to me. Right away, I know what time it is because she placed herself right next to me. Right? If you're at an empty bar, it's a big bar, and some woman stands next to you, she wants your attention right off rip. So, all right, now I'm gonna look at how she's dressed. Right? I'm paying attention to what kind of accessory she has. I'm looking at her nails. Are they those talent things? You know what I mean? Is it that, or I'm looking at her purse. You know what I mean? Like, is she carrying is it a Louis bag? Is it a Birkin? You know what I mean? Like, what is it? Is it a Coach? Right? I'm looking at these things. Maybe she doesn't have a bag at all. I'm looking at her nails. Are they just regular, nice manicured nails? They're not all crazy. Right? All that comes into play because I'm trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to say this? What icebreaker I'm going to use? I'm looking at her dress. Is it low cut? Is she showing off the goods, or is it more conservative? I'm looking at her hairstyle, right? I'm looking at all these little things. If I look on the dress and I can see the tag is kind of hiding right here, like, oh, she's going to take that dress back. Nothing wrong with that, but it's the way I'm going to formulate my game based on what I see. All that's the code. That's what Marvin. That's what Myron is talking about. All that's the code. But let's continue.
To me right now.
You want me to be honest?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I
want the code now, and then I'll ask the code again by the end of it.
Yeah, I would say recreational use only. No offense.
So what's how many codes is there?
Well, it depends on the girl. If you deal with a girl that's younger, that's in her prime years, well, you got to understand that she's more, inclined to look for fun. If you're dealing with a girl that is in her mid-20s, a lot of times she might be pursuing, it depends on the girl, but she might be pursuing some type of stability or some security, and you got to play at that angle. Or if you deal with a girl that's a little bit older, late 20s, 30s, and up, 9 out of 10 times she's going to want some type of security if she hasn't gotten it already.
Code, it's not even that deep. Like, either you like them or not. You don't need to put them in categories.
Now, she says this. Code is not that deep. You like them or not, you can't put them in categories. You must put them into categories as a guy. You just have to. Like, it is what it is. Women won't hesitate to put you in a category. They won't. Especially today. You know what I mean? Again, when they talk about, oh, you're her foodie friend, or you're her travel buddy, you know what I mean? Or you're the party guy. Like, women will put that. They'll put that in there. Like, this is the guy that could get me into the club. If I want to go out, me and my girls, this is the guy that's going to take us out. Or this is the guy that's going to take me to a nice restaurant. This is the guy who's going to come over and help me, hang my new TV on the wall. Right? This is the guy. That is true. That is true. Like, it's nothing wrong with that. You dig? It's nothing wrong with that. So guys who are out there oblivious to the code on the way it's played on both sides, they're going to get caught up, and that's on them. I don't feel bad for them. Like, yo, you going over there and doing what? Are you going to go over there and you're going to hang her, TV, or you're going to go over there and you're going to help her move something? All right. In my mind, I'm like, well, what you going to get out of that? Oh, it's just my buddy. It's just what I want to do. You ain't getting nothing out of that, bro. Nothing. After you move the sofa around, you're not even going to be allowed to sit on that sofa and watch Netflix with her while she cooks you dinner or makes you something, brings you a drink. You can't even chill. No. So you moving the sofa, you're hanging the TV, and she going to have another dude come over here and blow that back out. That's on you, bro. That's on you. So women do it. Women have a code. Men do it. Men have a code. And she's like, oh, it's not that serious. It is. I think Cheyenne is a very attractive woman. I really do. I have yet to meet her, but I guarantee she can hold a conversation. You can tell that just by her show. She seems like really cool, really down to earth. Now, You know what I mean? I'm willing to bet she's getting in her late 20s, early 30s. So more likely she had a good time when she was younger. She was definitely a baddie back in the day, guaranteed. And she was probably on the red carpet. She was probably at some of the most elite gatherings in London. She was probably kicking it with royals, you know what I mean, going to polo matches, you know what I mean, shooting over to France, you know what I mean, going to check out the Louvre on like elite nights because she's beautiful. Now she's older. And it's like, oh, shoot. You know what I mean? Those invitations aren't coming around as much. You know, you don't have dudes really trying to get at her as much, like the Royals and stuff like that. Sir Lewis Hamilton ain't calling you up as much anymore. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So it's like, uh-oh, I better lock something down. And that's when the red pill guys are talking about the wall and all that kind of stuff. That's where it comes from. But I'm not going to lie to you. As a 52-year-old man, I'll be 52 on the 28th. As a 52-year-old man, if I was talking to her, yeah, I would talk to her. She's, you know what I mean? She's attractive. You know, she still has her body for the most part. Very beautiful. She can hold a conversation. Yeah, I hang out with her. Hey, you want to, you know, if I got a political event I'm going to, that's the type of woman I would want on my arm. You know what I mean? It's, you know, like Myron was like, all recreational use only. I would, yeah, it would be close to that, but she would definitely get a lot out of being with me as much as I would get from being with her. You know what I mean? But as far as, oh, let's start a life together. Now, I don't think she has any kids. I'm not having any more kids. So, you know what I mean? You would have that issue right there. But again, all that runs, it's all about the code. It's all about the game. You know what I mean? Let's continue.
So what kind of woman do you want? Sorry.
Me? Mm-hmm. I mean, I could deal with whatever. My thing is, I need her to come into my life and be an asset and not a liability. Right. Most girls are liabilities, to be honest.
Do you think? I think 100%. The right woman, though, could, like, really just compliment you and make you, like, progress in your life.
Well, you got to train them.
No, you haven't. In order to train someone, you need them to listen. I'm telling you, no woman is listening to you.
Like,
women don't like that word, train. They get so mad. Not just Myron, but other people. But Myron says it the most. You got to train them. And right away, like, what, am I a dog? Like you train your dog? No, like I got trained as an air traffic controller. Like I got trained as an army, as a soldier in the United States Army. Like I got trained as a paratrooper. You know what I mean? Like Michael Jordan got trained as a basketball player. Training is essential. Essential. If you're going to master anything, it's going to take training. It's going to take the training mindset. I understand what he's talking about. But boy, oh boy, women don't like that word. You know what I mean? What am I, a dog? You know what I mean? Now, this is where people get lost in the message. They lose the message for the words. Soon as he says the word train, they shut off. If they were listening, now they're not listening anymore. It's all done. They shut off right now. He said train. Look, he's looking at me like an object. If you get into a relationship, there's going to be give and take, and there's going to be training on both ends. As a man, you're going to be getting trained up on what your woman likes. As a woman, she's going to be getting trained up on what you like. It's not a formal training. It's not like you get up at old dark 30 and you're standing tall before the man and you're doing PT and all that. Nah, you're observing and you're retaining the information that you are gleaming from this person. All right, they like to get up early. I'm a late sleeper. They like to eat Rice Krispies in the morning with blueberries. I like to have Raisin Bran with bananas. They like, you know what I mean? It's just you're this is all part of like the getting to know you. You're also training yourself to be with this person, right? Deciding certain things. I don't get the problem. People get so mad with that word, training. What? Like, why are you so mad? Training? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy as I don't know what. So yeah, let me catch up with the chat real quick. Yeah, you know, I'm just gonna jump right up here. Right here. Brother Colonel Sanders is in the house. What's good, fam? Central Florida, Tampa, we in here. Hey, bro, let's get together this weekend, man. Let's try to do something. Let me know what's up, man. Let's just grab a drink or something. You know what I mean? Let's you know what I mean? I don't want to lose too much time in between, you know, when we get to holler at each other, bro. We in the same city, don't make any sense. Brother Hayoka is saying hello to Sister Candace, and shout out to you, brother. I think I already did it. You get another one. So yeah, like in you know, Colonel Sanders is saying never discuss RP with women. Never discuss RP. I would take it a step further, man. Be very careful who you discuss RP stuff with. You know, gentlemen, out there. Be very careful who you discuss RP stuff with. Like you see another guy and you start talking this RP stuff and dropping these terms, you don't know where this guy stands, right? And that guy is going to see you as competition anyway. If he has information that some girls are interested in you anyway, and then he comes over and talks to you and you've been popping off this RP stuff, he's going to run back to them women and tell them all you're a weirdo, right? Remember, it's player versus player out there, fellas. This bro code and all that bullshit, man. I'm telling you, you don't know who you dealing with. Right? If you didn't come in there with them dudes, them ain't your dudes. Now, I'm not saying that they're our enemy and you should be trying to fight them. I'm not saying any of that, but just be careful. They are gunning at the same women you are gunning at. So keep that in mind. It is player versus player. So be careful who you talk this RP stuff with, right? And again, I don't agree with all RP stuff. You know what I mean? You shouldn't either. Just take the meat, leave the bones. Brother Ioka Myron is referring to Rollo's time chart in book 2, the timeline of hypergamy and the general concern in that age bracket. Yeah, you know what I mean? And they talk about that. Yeah, I see that. I haven't read the book. I'm still trying to get through Rational Male because the text is so small. He put in so much information in there. Boy, I'm still working my way through that. And it's really a text. Like you're reading a textbook, like this hardcore textbook text. So I haven't read the other books yet. I will get around to him, I think. Brother Hoeko was talking about Cheyenne's age, 32, I think. Yeah, I think she's in her late 20s, early 30s. Again, very pleasant woman. I look for fit, friendly, and feminine. She's fit. You know what I mean? She's friendly. And she can be feminine. Like she's very feminine on this show, even though she deals with some dudes who are pretty hardcore, in their masculinity. I would definitely talk to a woman like that. Absolutely. I wouldn't go up to her trying to smash, though. That wouldn't be my mindset. Like, ooh, I'm about to go over here and try to smash her, because she's not the type that's going to be trying to add to her body count. She's just not. She's not going to just jump in anybody's bed. You know what I mean? She's not that type woman. There are a lot of women out there who are older who will. There are women out there who they're just looking for sex, right? And it is what it is. You find one of them, again, you assess it. You know what I mean? The code tells you, oh, she's looking to get it. She wants the magic stick. She's about to give me the Foxy Brown. Boom, go. If that's what you're looking for. You know what I mean? But most women in their late 20s into like their mid 30s, they're not looking to just smash. They're not. They have guys that they use for that. They have guys that they're comfortable with, that when they really got that itch, they want it scratched, they'll call these dudes up and they'll come and smash. They got that already. They're looking for something more stable. And like these women who got these standby dudes, they'll tell you they're celibate. Oh, I'm celibate. I've been celibate for a year. Okay. But that dude doesn't count. And that dude doesn't count. Like it is what it is. Or there's some women out there who really take the oath and they're not having sex. I'm sure there are. You know what I mean? Have I met any? I guess. You know what I mean? But I hear a lot of, I don't normally do this. I hear that a lot. So I'm like, oh, I guess she was celibate until I hit her with some code. You know what I mean? And then bam, she's ready to do this. And I ain't mad. And I ain't going to talk to her. I keep it quiet as cat. I'll never tell you. Never tell you. You know what I mean? Sister DeSosa, what's good, love? Good to see you. It's like, that makes sense. You know what I mean? She, Brother Hayoka, she has a daughter. Wow. Man, where y'all be getting y'all intel, bro? Like, where do y'all be getting y'all intel? Jesus, man. Y'all know more than the Department of the Army. And that actually works into my favor. I'm a single dad. She's a single mom. Yes, that changes the code right there. Like that information right there changes my approach. Oh, she has a child. Oh, okay. All right. What's up? Now we can talk about parental, like being a parent. Wait, what's it like raising a child in the UK versus raising a child in the US? This is what we deal with over here. Y'all deal with that over there. Right away, I'm looking for things to get her off the defensive mode. Anyone, if I'm talking to a woman, what I'm trying to figure out is what can I say to her to get her off of her defensive mode, get her shields down. And if they have a child, there it is right there. Like if my phone is sitting there and if it lights up, it's a picture of my daughter. So right away, they're like, oh, is that your, like, a lot of women are like, is that your niece? No, that's my daughter. Oh, so, you spend weekends with her? Like, no, she lives with me. I mean, she spends weekends with her mom. She's with me during the week. And, that's how it works. You're a single dad. You take care of your. Boom. She's no longer on defensive. She's ready to talk to me. In her mind, this is a grown up. That's what she's thinking. And if I'm talking to a woman like Cheyenne, I'm like, cool. We get on that. We talking about that. And let's say we in that lounge at the bar or whatever. I'm like, well, you know, who are you here with? And she'll be like, I'm on a business meeting with these people over here. I'm like, well, listen, I know of a really cool place over here. Would you like to join me? You know, it's around the corner. More likely she's going to say yes. Like, absolutely, let's go. And I'm like, I know a cool spot over there that has some jazz or whatever it is, or like salsa or whatever. You know what? You should come. I'm about to go there now. And if she won't walk out the place with me, probably not, because she doesn't want to leave that sort of image with her clients or her friends that she's about to leave with some dude. But she'll be there within 30 minutes, guaranteed. Guaranteed. Code, game. That's how that works, y'all. Leia Novoa, what's good, love? Good to see you, sister. Sister, that's right. Hanging out with Dink and DL. That's right, girl. I hope you getting the choir ready, girl. Hope you getting the choir ready. He is deliberately to provoke her, to get her emotions going and not be boring. And that's Brother Hayoka. Yeah, because Myron was there to debate. He wasn't there to actually have a date or run game. He was there to debate. And that was his whole mission. And again, if you go over Fresh and Fit, they were breaking this down last night on their main platform. They were breaking down this episode of grilling, and Fresh Prince CEO also was breaking it down on his platform the night before. So it's really good if you want to find out what was going on behind the scenes. If you're truly curious, go over there and check them out. You know what I mean? Like and subscribe. Those boys are well over 1 million subscribers now and growing. And both of their sub channels, their independent channels, are both over 100,000 subscribers. So yeah, go over there and check them out. They're not as scary as most people think. You know what I mean? Sister, the Sosa training sounds condescending. It depends on how you accept it. Training is just a term. But I'm not even going to push back on that. Yes, if I'm sitting there talking about dating and training someone, if a woman said that to me, yeah, I can see, that can make my, you know what I mean? That'll make my guard go up. That'll make my shield go up. I'll look at her a certain way. You know what I mean? I get that. I accept that completely. You know what I mean? Like I said, I rock with these dudes, but I'm not back. The words that Myron uses and all that, you know, I wouldn't use a lot of those words. Now, keep in mind, he's also on camera. Does he talk like this off camera? Yes and no. It depends on the woman. Depends on the woman. If the woman starts going sideways and he matches her energy, he'll go sideways. But when he starts off, it's just normal back and forth. Especially if the woman doesn't know who he is, it's just normal back and forth. You know, keeping in mind this guy's like 6'3", 6'4", 200-something pounds. He's all muscle. You know what I mean? He's you know what I mean? Women are definitely trying to holler at him. You know what I mean? We were in Texas and I saw it, you know, firsthand. I'm like, yeah, dude ain't capping. Like, he knows what he's doing. But you're right. That term, it does sound condescending. And that's part of him trying to provoke her. Absolutely. Colonel Sanders, big facts deal. I sent you a text. Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna check in here in a second. Normally when I have someone on the show with me, I can take my eyes off while they're talking, but it's just me and y'all, so I'm not gonna be taking my eyes off. Brother Helka, that's intersexual sex game, competition aspect of Red Pill. It's like mate guarding. Okay, now here's the thing with like my Red Pill experience. I understand the theories behind everything. It's just I didn't have names for this stuff, right? So when I hear these names, and I'm like, okay, it makes sense now. I know what it is now. I've done some research. I've read the books. I'm getting up to speed with the terms. But I had, you know, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's kind of funny. You hear all these terms. It's like, yo, like it's just game. Well, no, it's day game. It's night game. It's dog game. It's this game. It's that game. I'm like, oh, okay. I just didn't know the terms, but I appreciate that, bro. In fact, I think one day I should do a show when we break down all of the RP terminology. You know what? I think that'll be a good show. We just break down RP terminology. Brother Edgar, she said it with the Andrew Tate interview, and I did watch that. I think if I remember correctly, she also pointed that out. The daughter with Fresh. Yeah, I watched that interview, but I don't recall that part. But it is what it is. But again, when you talk about the code, that's one of the things that I'm looking for. That's one of the things, like when I'm sitting there having this conversation, I'm listening for stuff like that. And if I see that she has a child or if that comes up, then it's like, all right, bet I can run this route. And again, I'm not trying to smash, but you know what I mean? If you are trying to smash and you're dealing with it, that's enough to just make you, you know what I mean, abort the mission. Like if you're sitting there talking to a woman, she's beautiful, she's a single mom, she has a kid, it's like, all right, that's enough. I'm moving on to the next one. You know what I mean? Because she would have to come back and get me and basically tell me like, we about to go do this. Because I'm not going to pursue. You know what I mean? When I was back in the day, and even to this day, like, Yeah, even to this day, when I'm out, I'm on the hunt, and the mission is Foxy Brown. I don't generally mess with single moms. They would have to like let me know this is what it is. They got a hotel, like I'm just in town for the weekend or I'm out, whatever. They got to tell me up front. That basically letting me know that they're out here looking, they're hunting for the magic stick. All right, then cool, we could do that. But if I'm on a hunt like that, single mom, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. You know what I mean? I'm out of there. That's definitely a board. I'm moving off to the next one. So, and there's a lot, there's dudes out there who don't rock like that. Most guys are just thirsty and they don't care. They're going after whatever. And, those guys, those guys really need this world. Just put it to you that way. Those guys they really need to look at their game. Brothers, if y'all out there hunting, you can't be thirsty, man. Women sense that so fast. You cannot be thirsty, and it can't be a game. Like, you can't be faking it, right? If you're a wolf, you're a wolf. You know what I mean? Point blank, period. If I went out there and tried to act like a sheep, no women would buy it. They're like, man, that's a wolf dressed in sheep clothing. Just like a sheep out there trying to dress up like a wolf, they'll sense it in a heartbeat. So you really got it. That's where that confidence comes in, fellas. So y'all, you know what I mean? Trust me. Women know. All right? They know. The little bullshit game y'all running, they know it. They just, for whatever reason, they want to smash you. If it goes down like that, they like you. You know what I mean? There's nothing that you're doing. When you run these little bullshit games, these women know, they see right through it. It's just something about you that she wants, and boom, she's on it. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. We're gonna get back. We're gonna get back to the video, brother Heyoka. When you walk up and a man puts his arm around a woman he's with, like out of nowhere, that's mate guarding. Oh yeah. I've seen that all the time. Okay, I get that. And I didn't have a term for it. That was just, we call it handcuffing. Oh, that dude over there handcuffing. That's what we used to call it. Me and my dudes. Oh yeah, dude over there handcuffing, which only helped us. Oh, you an insecure dude. You trying to put your arm around her, and then she starts fighting to get your arm off of her. Got you. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, I got your girl, bro. I got your girl. Now she giving me the look. I got your girl. You know what I mean? All I gotta do is look at her, tip my hat to her, you know what I mean, and walk away. Guess what? She gonna make it her business to come see me before they leave that bar. Make it her business. She'll figure it out. So dudes, don't be handcuffing. Mate guarding. Is that what they call it? Mate guarding? Nah, fellas, don't be handcuffing. You know what I mean? If you insecure like that, don't let her go out. Y'all go somewhere else. And if she insists on going out, it might be time for you to find another woman. That's all RP stuff. That's the real deal, right? You can't chase some woman and make her stay with you, fellas. It ain't gonna happen. She want to get out there and she want to do her thing out there. Go ahead and let her do her thing, bro. Don't be mad at her, man. Let her do her thing. Move on. Find you another woman. Find that woman who is going to be happy to sit next to you in the house doing whatever it is y'all doing, or going out on a boat fishing, or riding a bike, or whatever that is. That's what I'm saying. Don't be handcuffing these women, bro. Don't do it. So let's get back to the video.
Like, most girls come into your life, and if you don't know what you're doing, she's going to come in as a liability, 100%.
No, you don't train them though.
You have to train
It's
them.
like training a dog. You wouldn't do that.
Oh, here we go. I knew that was going to be.
No, but it's true though. It's not training. It's not something like, once again, it's just seeing this person as your equal. Okay, but showing the person respect. It's not training.
So I look at it like, if I'm going to have a girlfriend and she's going to be my girl and she's going to have my title.
But real quick, ladies who are still with me, what do you call it then? If you, and I'm serious, if you don't want to call it training, and I'm not saying you as a woman, if I don't want to call it training, right? Help me out. What term could I use then? That has the same meaning. If anyone has any terms, could you please put it in the chat for me? I appreciate it. I'm legit curious.
Well, she's got to be trained to rise up to a certain level, because I'm going to make her into an asset. Buy me a bag, do this, blah, 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 take me on trips, whatever, when they haven't earned it. So you got to detrain those bad behaviors out of that girl and make her an asset into your life versus a liability. Most guys don't understand their value. They bring her into their life. They give her everything. She hasn't earned it. She doesn't respect him. She's walking all over him. She starts to dictate the relationship. You're not getting sex tonight, blah, blah, blah.
He's so...
Listen, that's the thing. That's the thing. There are a lot of guys. I've done it. I'm guilty of it. Guys come in and they meet a woman. They really dig her. It is whatever it is about her. That's the one. I'm guilty of that. That's one of the things that I have to force myself not to do. If I'm with a woman and that's the woman I want to be with, she ain't got to want for nothing. I pay attention to everything. I know what type of shoes she like. I know the types of clothing she like to wear, like formal, casual, leisure. I know all that stuff. I know the kind of makeup she likes. This is the stuff that I'm watching. You know what I mean? I know her favorite perfumes. I know, and it's not that I know the exact brand, but I know the scent that she likes. You feel me? I know what type of food she likes to eat. I'm talking about different types of cuisine. I know, like, if like, let's say she doesn't eat ghetto food, but she has a guilty pleasure and she likes, you know, I don't know, like barbecue chicken from like JJ's Rib Shack or some shit like that. I'll know that. There's just so many things that I pay attention. And if I want a woman, I want to give her all that. And it's not that I'm trying to win her affection or this, that, and the other. It's just, I know what makes you happy and I want to make you happy. But I have to control myself. I can't allow myself to do that. You know, it's like you have to let these women earn that slot, right? Trust me, fellas, if you go out there and you pull the trigger too soon and you start showing her all these things, everything that Myron said will come to pass, bro. She will not respect that because she hasn't earned it, right? And that's one of the things that I always got to fight. Even me, all these years and all this experience, I've still screwed that up. I did it 3 years ago. I screwed it up. Had a woman, and she would have been a good woman, but I screwed it up. I came away from my game. I came away from the code, and I lost. It's point blank, period. I'm not mad at her. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at the game. It just, I screwed that up. Chalked that up. I learned my lessons from that, and I won't do it again. But let's continue.
Rude. Obviously, this is your experience, so I can't argue that. But there's.
I mean, this is biology. Women are hardwired to extract resources from men. It's been that way since the beginning of time. Biology rules everything, guys. They could sit there and say, "Oh, but I'm doing this and my truth, blah blah blah." Biology rules you. There's one truth. There's no such thing as my truth. Female, typical, blah blah blah, trash.
No, but I kind of feel like from my experience, if I'm going into someone's life, I would want to add value, so I wouldn't really take things. And I kind of feel when you.
What did you just say 2 seconds ago? You said, in my experience.
Yeah,
I come in and I add value.
Yeah.
That's you. Majority of women come in, meet the guy. Okay, what can I get from this guy? Okay, this guy's a simp. I'll just take him out on dinner dates he could pay. I'm never going to smash him. Another guy, this guy's hot. You know, I can smash him. I can hang out with him. This guy, he has some utility. He's a plumber. Okay, he can do my plumbing, but I'll give him a BJ once. Girls put guys in roles. It's your job.
I just said that. You know what I mean? That's real talk right there. And there's nothing wrong with that. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the game. That's the game. And I know there are a lot of my friends out there, a lot of my female friends, they fight me on this, man. They push back hard on this. I'm like, simply because you don't do it doesn't mean it's not been done. And like to my friends or it doesn't mean it's not being done. And when I talk to my close female friends, right, we'll sit around and they fight me. And I start pointing out people in our crew, like loosely affiliated with our crew. Well, this doesn't happen. Well, okay, let's talk about Sarah, that guy Ken. And then they'll sit back. Well, I'm like, what's Ken getting out of it? Well, Ken gets to be in the friend zone, right? Ken is the guy with the nice car that drives her everywhere she wants to go. She don't need Uber. She got Ken, right? She'll hit up Ken and he'll take her from spot to spot to spot to spot, right? What is she giving Ken? Nothing. I guess she's blessing him with her presence, right? So she'll have dude so she can pull up in a nice Panamera, right? When she going to wherever she's going. That's Ken's role, right? Then my friend would be like, well, you know what I mean? That's just Sarah. Okay. What about LaShawn? Right? We both know who blowing her back out. You know what I'm saying? Her dude Rock be coming over there smashing, sliding in there 3-4 in the morning, right? But while she's out, right, it's Jay, that dude Jay, we call him Jay's name Jerry, right? It's Jay and that other dude, I can't remember his name. They be coming around. Whenever we meet up, she got them two dudes that's showing up, right? One paid for an Uber, one's buying her drinks, right? You got a dude coming out. I was like, so what about that? Well, and I went on and I talked about 3 other women in our crew, not like in our immediate circle, but, you know, loosely affiliated with our crew. And finally, she conceded the point. Okay. And I was like, they're not bad people. That's the game. That's the game. You know what I'm saying? Rock coming over getting what he wants. She fell prey to his game. And it's all good. There might be some woman out there who running Rock. It's the game. So, you know what I mean? So what Myron just said right there, I'm telling you, he ain't lying. He ain't lying. Let's continue.
Your job is the man to make sure you're the top guy and you got the main role where you're not investing too much and she's investing more in you. Girls only respect men that they invest in. The girl always has to like the guy more than she likes him.
No, I think it works better the other way around.
When the guy likes the girl more?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Why doesn't it make sense?
Because women want a man that's better than them. So how do I look if I'm better than you and I'm sitting here chasing after you? Doesn't make sense. Women only respect men that.
Now, here's the thing right here. As far as, I don't necessarily agree with Myron on one. He's saying like the woman should chase the man. I know where he's coming from. I don't necessarily agree with him on that small point, but I do agree 100% in every relationship. There's one person that is more emotionally invested than the other. It's never 50-50. Never. We're talking about emotions. It's extremely rare that you got two people who are emotionally invested at the same level. Extremely rare. Normally, there's a person who's invested emotionally a little bit less, and they will be willing to walk away at any moment. And that's the person that runs the relationship. That's the person that holds the leverage, be it the male or the female. And I wholeheartedly believe that. And I know you're like, well, dang, Uncle Saint, what you saying? I got to sit back and just act this way. I'm just giving you the information, bro. There's always someone who's willing to walk away. The person that's willing to walk away has the leverage in a relationship. Now, be it the man or the woman, it doesn't matter. Once you become legally married, all the leverage shifts immediately to the woman. It immediately shifts to the woman or to the person who earns the least. Because once the divorce comes, like if you're with a woman and she's making $500,000 a year and y'all get divorced after 10 years, she's probably going to have to pay you alimony, but it's going to be a fight. You know what I mean? You're going to have to get a good lawyer. If there are kids involved and you've been a stay-at-home dad, you got a real good chance of getting custody. She's going to have to pay some form of child support, right? Because it's going to be real hard for a court to take your kids away from you, especially when your attorney can prove that you've been the one at home taking care of the child, just down the third. You don't want to sacrifice your career, Sacrificing your career, that's where the alimony comes in, taking care of the kids. They can't just remove the children. That's not in the children's best interest, no matter how bad the judge would want to do it. The father's going to get at least 50-50 custody, and the mom makes more money, so she's going to have to pay him child support. This is how the world is going to start moving here pretty soon, within the next 10, 15 years. And I think once that happens, they're going to start making changes to family court law. But the person who makes the least in the marriage has the leverage. And generally speaking, the man's going to be the higher earner. So generally speaking, it's the guy, the man loses his leverage once he gets married, once he signs those papers, right? That's just my take on it. But when you have just a relationship, we're not talking about marriage or anything like that, just a relationship, the person in that relationship who is willing to walk away, that's the person who holds all the leverage. That's the person who's going to be like, well, I'm going to do it my way. Well, okay, bye. That person, they can say bye. The other person, like, is really in love with that person, they're going to continue to do everything they can to keep that person, in the relationship, male or female, whoever it is. These days, right, this is just me making up numbers. These days, I would say 75 to 80% of women are willing to walk away. And again, that's just me making up numbers. I think that these days, women are just ready to go at the drop of a hat. They're just ready to go. And the guys are just, again, we make these soft men, these men who are in touch with their emotions. These dudes who are in love, and they get wrecked. You know what I mean? And again, that's just my take on that. But yeah, it is what it is. Sister Candace, not sure I have a term, so to speak. A man just needs to set his expectations for his woman and the relationship. As long as he is upholding his end of the bargain, she will follow his lead. Okay, like, I'll take that. You know what I mean? Brother Hayoka is saying that I guess Cheyenne, she contradicted herself because earlier in the video she said once a man taller, making equal or more money and fit, a superior man, that's not equal to chase her. Myron said that makes no sense. Yep, absolutely. And that's just one of those things where we'll get into that a little bit later. Colonel saying that, Ken gets her presents. Absolutely. That happens all the time. You know what I mean? Colonel Sanders, I can't tell you how many times I've heard women say he's lucky to be seen with me when it comes to a guy friend. I've heard that a lot too, bro. Keeping it 100. Sister Candace, I understand what Myron is saying. A woman is seeking the security of a man and ultimately his last name. She does have to want it more. It depends on the game she's running, though, sis. You know what I mean? She could be after the bag. So Myron is saying you need to, vet that out and be careful what you're dealing with and protect yourself because, hey, women they could just be after the bag. Like, I can get this guy, get married, be married for 10 years, have a baby, secure the bag. If the guy, is high status enough, he's making enough money. These are the kind of things that, the guys in the red pill, the guys in the manosphere, like throwing this information out there. Like, be careful, guys, be careful how you vet, who you vet, and what you're doing. Brother Helka, so the person with higher value in the relationship, eye of the beholder, has the leverage. Again, like I said, the person who is willing to walk away, in my opinion, has the leverage. Before marriage, the person in a relationship who is willing to walk away has the leverage. Because that's just that Uno draw four wild card. You know what I mean? You can't argue with that person. If your woman is willing to walk away, you can't do nothing to keep her in the house. She's willing to leave you. Same thing with a guy. If your guy's willing to walk away, there's nothing you can do to keep him there. So he has the leverage. That means you're going to be pursuing him. Myron is saying that guy wants to be in a position where he's being pursued. That's what Myron is saying. The guy needs to be in a position that the woman is always pursuing him, and that's going to lead to the best results of a relationship. That's what he's saying. And again, I'm with him 95%. I say the person, whoever it is, man or woman, whoever is willing to walk away holds the leverage, and that's just my take on it. You know what I mean? But hey, what do I know? I'm just an old man sitting in his attic talking to a computer. Let's continue.
That they chase. It doesn't work the other way around.
Once again, with this new wave of women, we don't want to keep fighting for a man if he's going to treat you like an option.
See, here's the thing. We can say that women are changing, whatever, but we're all slaves to our biology. Women are 100% okay with sharing men. It's been that way since the beginning of time. I would say it's even more apparent now.
Right here, he ain't lying. Listen, he's talking about top tier men. He's saying that since the beginning of time, since the beginning of our species, women have been okay with sharing men, top tier guys who can provide wealthy dudes, with, a lot of clout or title or whatever lands. And he's right. But I'll even take it a step further. I didn't come from title and land and from, wealth and all that. I came from Cincinnati, Ohio, man. I came from Avondale, man. I came from the hood. Dudes who didn't have money still had multiple kids had multiple women and all that. I saw it growing up. I saw that women are willing to share men. It had nothing to do with the money. And I guess emotions came into play. I guess height and like brute strength and, physique and all that. Game. I don't know what it was, but I can tell you this. I know a lot of women that was sharing dudes. Like dudes in the streets, hustlers. I mean, one of my dudes had a party. He invited all his women to the party. So y'all got, Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate talking about the Rango and all that. Man, first time I ever seen anything like that. My dude in Cincinnati threw a party, man. Had a hotel, had a suite. We walked into the party. Every last woman he was messing with was in there. It was like 15 of them. 15 women. And this isn't like women from his past. No. These were the 15 chicks that he was currently smashing. One of the girls was sitting there looking around. She was like, I can't believe he got us all in here at the same time. So she knew. Right? She knew. And none of them women got rid of him after that party. They was still there. Yeah, they was lying, mad, but they was still there. He was smashing them still. So, yeah, Myron is not lying. Women will share a guy. You know what I mean? And I've seen it at the hood level. And if the guy's like high status enough, yeah, top tier women will share a top tier, like that high value guy. That's just real talk, y'all. I'm keeping it 100.
Instagram, dating apps, etc., a minority of men are getting a majority of the women. And women are okay with that. I mean, walk into a nightclub. It's probably one of the most carnal representations of human nature. All the women are sitting in one section with a bunch of the guys that have the highest perceived status in that social setting, versus all the other guys are out there in general admission struggling. So, women always gravitate towards the best guys, and they're willing to share those guys.
So what's your type?
He's not lying. For those people who are listening, it's like, I just work. I'm like Rollo Tomasi, man. I just work here. You know what I mean? Sorry, just work here. I'm simply reporting back to you what I've seen. I tell this to my people all the time, man. I'm in the field. I'm downrange. I'm simply reporting back. I'm giving you a salute report for those in the military. You know what I mean? Mad 4 in the house. Mad 4. You're in the military right now. You're a young cat. Do they still use salute as the acronym to teach you how to call in information, like how to call in what you're seeing? Salute. You know what I mean? And I give you this, SALUTE, and the S stands for size. But do they still use salute? Let me know. Let's see. Colonel Sanders, I agree, Unc. For men, it's best to have a woman more emotionally invested in him as opposed to the other way around. It keeps her from straying. Right? That's the part where, like, that's all subjective. I mean, I'm not going to push back on that. I'm not going to co-sign on that. All I'm saying is this. Whichever person in that relationship, any relationship, heterosexual relationship, gay relationship, doesn't matter. Whichever person in the relationship is willing to walk away, that's the person with the leverage. That's just the way I've seen it. I came to that conclusion about 20 years ago. It hit me like a ton of bricks 20 years ago, just watching other people. And I was like, wow, there's always the guy or the woman that doesn't, it's like, they don't give a shit. They like, all right, I'm gone. And then the other person is chasing them down the street. And what? How many times have you seen that? You've seen a girl chase a guy down the street when he walks out of a club or restaurant or movie theater or whatever, and the girl's chasing him down the street, crying or saying, come back, come back, come back. You know what I mean? And it's not even about like they got caught cheating or anything like that. It's just that person said something the other one didn't like or whatever and just walked away. I've seen that with, women chasing men. I've seen that with men chasing women. The person who's willing to walk away has the leverage. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Sister Candace, vetting should be a no-brainer. I'm saying that in order for a woman to achieve her biological imperatives, she needs a man. And to do it the right way, she needs his last name and then his sperm. Yeah, I cannot fight that. I won't push back on that at all. Brother Terusa's in the house. What's good, fam? Myron has CTE like the airborne guys, man. I don't think so, but he might. I don't know. That guy was a D1 athlete in college, but he was like rowing or crew or whatever you call that. Not a lot of shots to the head in that one, bro. You know what I mean? Sister Candace at Colonel Sanders. Once a woman has consolidated on a man, her best biological option, she won't go anywhere. A man should have also confirmed this via the vetting process. Hopefully. Math 4, can't say that we do. Never heard of the DS tell us that. You know what I mean? So the salute report, yeah, we'll talk about it later. It's nothing important. I was just wondering if they still teach that in basic training in AIT. Actually, I was working with some Green Beret guys, and they were like, you remember your salute? And I was like, oh yeah, I do remember. Lady Novoa, this fire, by the way, I got you on the ear set right. I'm sorry, I got you on the ear set you right. Sorry, and FNF talks on how they live, so keep that in mind too. Their age group and how they live. If you like that no marriage, they right. I think you're driving and texting, but I get where you're coming from. And here's the thing. If it weren't for YouTube, if I didn't do this platform, I would never talk about this stuff outside of Polite Company. I wouldn't. You know what I mean? But, there's a lot of guys who really need to hear this. They really need to hear this, like what's going on. And so, yeah. You know what I mean? I'm going to speak on it. There are a lot of people who will take this stuff and say, no, I can't care about the woman in my relationship. I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying that the person who demonstrates the ability to walk away is the person who's going to hold leverage. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. It's going to be a little bit of acting in there. Maybe do that just through the vetting process. And once you figure out that this is the person that I want, then I would say, okay. There's some other stuff that Myron says in this interview that I don't agree with, but I understand where he's coming from. So yeah, and like I say, man, it is what it is. And then Mad 4 is like, at least not an ordinance. Now it's radio stuff, actually, man. Like a salute report is basically what are you gonna tell the rear when you see something? And it's like size, activity, uniform, location, time, and equipment they're wearing. So that's salute. So that's what you want to report back there. So I don't know if and look, I learned that back in 1990, and I still remember. The Army training, United States military training is the best in the world for a reason. No one can beat us because we train so hard. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, that's what that is. Salute. Sister Candace, LOL, she's talking to Brother Hayoka. I hear you, sir. However, I come from parents who have been married 42 years and in-laws who have been married 44 years. My face tells me otherwise. I ain't mad at you. And, it's different results from different folks. That's just how it works, Brother Tarus. The more research I do in this space, the less I understand what a high-value man is. And I think a high-value man is it's a subjective term, bro. But, like I said, like you can go back and look at what Kevin Samuels calls a high-value man. I'll say a top-tier guy. Right. And they talk about height. They talk about finances. They talk about being fit. They talk about being accepted by other high value men. They talk about being a leader of men. I throw in there, the ability to get women. Like any man who is spinning plates, any man who can get sexual access to women or sexual attention from women, I consider him a high value dude, a top tier guy. And I don't care if he works at Target. If he's good at womanizing, he can get women. I consider him top tier. It doesn't mean that he's, it's like, well, he doesn't make six figures and he's not respected by other top tier guys. That's fine. It's really hard to get women. So if dude can get women, that puts him above the rest. So I would say that that's like the bottom tier entry level into the top tier of men. You know what I mean? And that's just me. The manosphere, right? It's not set in stone. It's fluid. So, Brother Tarus, whatever you want to you say a top tier guy, your definition of top tier man might be a guy who's married and monogamous and has his kids and has 2.5 children and a white picket fence, 2 cars. That might be your ideal, top tier guy. And I wouldn't argue that. Cool. You know what I mean? Cool. I wouldn't argue that. So, and that's one of the things I like about the manosphere. You can sit down and have a discussion. You know what I mean? Ask 10 people, you'll probably get 10 different definitions on high value, top tier. But basically, top tier guys are the guys that the women want, because we already know women only want the top 20. So if you got enough women that push you up in that top 20, then you're there. You know what I mean? That's pretty much how I look at it. Math 4. Yeah, you're right, DR. I forgot it was back in basic training. It's size, activity, location, unit, identification, time, equipment. There it is. Right there, salute. See what I mean? America trains the best, bro. We train the best. We are the best for a reason. USA, USA. Brother Hayoka, Sister Candace, you said it. You said to do it right. You said to do it right. They don't care today, even though I agree with you. And then Brother Tarus is true. But yeah, man, like it's so many different variants out there, man. And that's, that's what I dig about the manosphere, bro. It's not set in stone. Let's see. So that was the part about what can I get, right? So in my notes here, I have another part. Women don't take L's. That's 1649. That's coming up. Let's see if I can pull that up. Women don't like taking L's. Let's see what's going on with that.
Talking. Fucking hell.
Women don't like it when they get criticized. If I go on a podcast and I say, you know what, guys, you need to stop being bums. You need to get your money on point, stop being fat POSs, etc. They actually admire and respect that. People are in the chat, flame emojis, whatever. I go on rants on the guys all the time. I'm sweating, going crazy. It's like I'm delivering a preach. I think she's trying to.
So pay close attention to this part right here. Myron ain't lying. He goes in way hard on men on his platform, especially in his Patreons, on those like Zoom calls. The guy goes in hard. There are so many rants on him going off on these basement dweller guys, man. So many rants. So many. And he gets passionate. He's always passionate about stuff, man. Like, he, gets very emotional when he talks about this stuff. Like it's like a coach mode, like drill sergeant mode. He's screaming at these guys. Big veins start popping out, man. It's crazy. That's what he's talking about. He goes in and no one bats an eye. When he tells a dude it's unacceptable for you to be fat. There was a time we was on a Zoom call and there was a guy, I think it was out in California. This guy was morbidly obese. He had a kid, right? He was not living his best life, let's just say. I want to be nice to the dude. I can't remember his name. His hair was all jacked up. You can see like he was morbidly obese, Like, he was on his way to the point where he wasn't going to be able to walk around, right? And the guy was up there talking red pill. I want to start a podcast. He's talking all this stuff about dating and this and that. So Myron was like, hold on. He saw the picture of dude because dude had his camera off, but then the camera came on for a second. He was like, hold on. And brought dude up on the screen. He was like, man, we ain't going to talk about red pill. We ain't going to talk about nothing but your fat ass. And he went in. Never saw the guy again. Never saw the dude again. This was in the Patreon. I went looking for the dude in the Patreon because I wanted to help the guy. I went looking for the guy, like trying to find him. Hey, anybody know this dude? Hey, the guy said this, and this. I remember where he was. You know what I mean? What city he was in, everything. I still do. I just don't want to put his business out there like that. Yo, anybody remember? Hey, remember dude? Hey, he just got out of the Patreon. Like this dude. And it was, people think that this guy, is a misogynist. And, we all know what misogyny means over here. The other contempt or hatred of women. He's not a misogynist. You know what I mean? Myron loves women, but he is hard on folk because he truly wants to help these people out. Like he went in on this guy. This guy needed to hear it and he didn't accept it. The guy did not accept it. You know what I mean? And this dude, the guy's story was so horrific. And that's just how men are. Like, man, you gotta get your shit together, bro. You need to get it together. Step it up. It's none of this, you know what I mean? Love your curves, you know what I mean? Body shaming and all this other kind of bullshit. Nah, not in the man's world. That's not a thing in the man's world. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to get that out there. This dude, Myron, goes in on people. He goes in on his own supporters. These are his supporters. He goes hard. Now they've reached, over 1 million supporters and stuff, over 1 million subscribers. And there's a bunch of weirdos out there now, like on their platform. There's a bunch of weirdos out there. Y'all know I love my Fresh and Fit fam. But I think Sister Candace can back me up on this one. There are weirdos in there now. Some real strange ones. You know what I mean? And it's just going to go with the growth. It is what it is. Even Myron and Fresh would be sitting there scratching their head like, what? So some of the things that these guys are saying. But Myron goes hard on these dudes as well. I just wanted to stop and say that. Here we're going to continue.
To grow me, but what she doesn't know is I'm a black belt in this. I've dealt with 10 girls like her at the same time on my podcast, so she gonna take an L. Women rarely get held accountable for their poor decisions. Men do, though. Men have to live in reality. Women are afforded the privilege of being delusional. So when a guy criticizes a woman, oh my God, right? If you don't believe me, think about it. If a dude's fat, we just call him fat. You're a loser, huh? If a woman's fat, love your curves, girl. You go. She's rude and obnoxious. Oh, you know what? They just can't handle you. You're strong and independent, fierce. We have all these terms to cover up female inadequacies, but we don't have these same terms for men.
I think a lot of it comes from like narcissistic behavior from men and misogynistic
Women are far more
views.
narcissistic than men are.
No, women can be, so I'm not disputing that.
Far more narcissistic.
But I can't.
You hear a lot of this too when these discussions that break out between men and women or whatever, especially modern women, and you're talking to guys who are like, trying to get dudes to be more masculine. Narcissism comes up all the time. All the time. You know what I mean? And it's something I want to bring up. I want to show you guys something. We'll get back to this video in a second. Something I want to bring up. And it just blows my mind when I hear this. Like, these people, it is like people are looking for excuses. There's a lot of victim mentality and all that kind of stuff going on. There's definitely a lot of that. Let me hide this. Let me make this bigger. That's what she said. Oops, wrong button. Need to be over here. All right, let me see what I messed up. Let me go this. All right, what did I mess up? I think I messed something up over here. Give me 1 second, y'all. Technical difficulties. The trouble is not in your set. All right, there we go. I'm back. All right, so here we go. In Style magazine, right, they were talking about narcissists, right? The narcissist phenomenon, right? And there was a part in here. It talks about types of narcissism, of you know what I mean, overt narcissism or narcissism, covert, hyper vigilant, obvious, you know what I mean, exhibitors. They got all these different things. But what they were basically talking about, and what caught my eye about this, was how, what's causing this, right? And it says, it just talks about this, like the narcissist phenomenon, right? So it's like experts believe that we are seeing such a drastic increase in narcissists due to a few factors. Many parents misunderstood the self-esteem movement and thought that telling their kids how great they are would help them to feel good about themselves. But this unmerited praise has created a generation of narcissists who expect to have their egos stroked all the time, regardless of their performance or behavior. So right off rip, we are seeing a rise in narcissism, but it's not because of the manosphere or red pill. It's not because of feminism or the blue pill. It's because parents are raising narcissists. That's what it is, right? That's what it is. It's poor parenting. And this is a problem in probably Western worlds, right? It goes on. Media, especially social media, has also become a narcissism super spreader event. Reality TV is saturated with people behaving badly, demanding attention, right? And preening for the camera. And it's no surprise that there is a correlation between excessive use of social media and narcissism. Social media encourages us to take a lot of selfies, promote our brand, quote unquote, and reinforces a belief that everybody is interested in what we are doing at all times. The focus on mainstream, the emphasis on acquisition of things rather than relationships and showing off contributes as well. Now, granted, narcissism occurs over a continuum. We all need to be a little bit narcissistic. Otherwise, we would not put ourselves together and walk out the door looking presentable. But when someone's narcissism has crossed the line from healthy to pathological, dating them can be a nightmare, right? I just wanted to share that real quick because the reason for the increase in narcissists, according to the people who talk about this sort of thing, is bad parenting, social media, and where we are today as a society. It has nothing to do with the red pill. Right? It has nothing to do with being unplugged. It has nothing to do with the blue pill. It has nothing to do with feminism. I just thought that was kind of, when I saw that, I was like, yo, you know what I mean? But people out there are so quick to put, narcissists and this and da. They're so quick to do that. So quick. I messed up my, there we go. Yeah, I kind of messed up my setup over here, y'all. You gotta be careful what buttons you push. Should make that some merch. Be careful what button you push. So yeah, I definitely wanted to put that in there, man. Just, take that in, right? Think about that. It's not the red pill's fault. It's not the blue pill's fault. It's not masculinity, It's not feminine, like the feminists. It's bad parenting. It's social decline. Right? That's why there's so many narcissists out there. They're being encouraged to do so. What does Myron say all the time? You need to punish a female's bad behavior. You should punish bad behavior, right? We don't do that. We reward people for bad behavior. We reward them big time. Big time. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, man. Y'all should just think on that for a minute. So, so let's get back to the video.
Kind of feel like with men that attain a certain level of status and power, it gives you the opportunity to try and to dominate.
Big difference, though.
No, but this is
men
why
earn narcissism.
Men do not earn a right to be.
And this right here, I do not agree with the statement Brother Myron just made. Men earn narcissism. I understand where he's coming from. Men have to they have to build themselves into a point, before they can even be looked on like that or before they can be narcissistic or whatever. I don't agree with the term that men earn narcissism, but I do wholeheartedly agree with the point that men have to become. Men have to go out there and build themselves up. They got to get it out the mud, to even be looked at by society or women or what have you. You know what I mean? But the narcissism part, I know some broke narcissists. You know what I mean? But let's continue.
Narcissistic. Just shut up.
Men earn confidence and arrogance. Women don't. Women are born with their value. Men must.
Now that part, men earn confidence and arrogance, yes. But that's not being narcissistic either. Right? I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm a confident man. And there's been some times when I got out of pocket. I've gotten out of pocket before for whatever reason. You know what I mean? I have. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have. Right? But like I said, I busted my ass. So I agree with that part. I just don't agree with the men earn the right to be narcissistic. I think that was just Myron, taking digs or whatever, doing his thing. Shout out to Myron Gains.
Earn their value. So if a man's arrogant, more than likely he's probably accomplished something. When a woman's arrogant, 9 out of 10 times, she hasn't accomplished anything. She just has a bunch of DMs. See, this is the problem that a lot of modern day women have. They lack critical thinking skills.
Here's the thing. Not just modern women, right? The entire Western world, especially here in America, people lack critical thinking skills across the board. Not just women, men too. Right? So I'm like, take it to the next level, bro. Right? Americans are dumb, but let's continue.
Women tend to go off of their feelings versus what's real. They go off the feels and not the reals. What a girl is supposed to do is come into a man's life, see where he's deficient. Okay, I noticed that you like to go to the gym at this time. I'm going to make sure that you have a protein shake with as many grams of protein as you need.
Just get a PA.
I'm going to make sure that's done, and I'm a deductive problem solver. I'm able to be observant, because that's women's gift, is being observant of social situations. That's why women are socially superior to men. Oh, I thought you were going to say that's sexist. Okay. No, it's never sexist when a guy mentions something
hilarious
about a woman that's positive. So a woman's job is to use that social calibration that they have, that they're superior to men in, and be able to be like, okay, this guy's deficient in this and deficient in this, etc. Let me come in, compliment, make this guy operate. He's already operating at 95%. I'm going to get him to 102. And when you're at a high level already, that extra 2, 3, 4, 5% is what helps you beat the competition.
This guy's dangerous.
And here's the thing, what Myron was talking about is competing. You're talking about the top tier guys, right? Just not enough of them to go around. And every woman wants them. Why not? Why wouldn't you want to be? Why wouldn't you want to be with the best? Right? Participation trophies, right? You know what I mean? Bulldozer parents, everyone telling you that you deserve it, and you believe it. So you get out there in the real world and it's like, well, I'm going to get him. Well, guess what? Rihanna trying to get him. Cheyenne's trying to get him. You got all these people trying to get dude. All these people. You know what I mean? All these people trying to get dude. You got to compete. And what Myron is, and there's a lot of things like, and ladies who follow the red pill and the red pill content, and when the women are here, would you agree, ladies, that you must compete to get a certain caliber of guy? Or are we wrong in saying that? Is there a competition going on? Like, because there's only one dude, right? There's only so many dudes. And we've already, we've already established that the majority of women don't see 80% of dudes. The majority of women focus on the top 20. So if 80% of women are going after 20% of guys, that means what? 60% are going to be out of luck? Is that right? If 80% towards 20, 40, yeah, 60, 60%, only 20% of those women, if it's going to be monogamous, 1-for-1, only 20% of the women who are looking are going to be successful, and the other 60% are going to be left in the cold. You know what I mean? So is it safe to say, is it okay to say, I'm just curious, that you got to compete? I'm just curious. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. But that's basically what he's telling her, and look at her face. She's a cute woman, but look at her face. She's like, what?
Women will do that. A lot of women will give you that life. They will give you that balance. They will compliment you, but they're not going to just do it until you're serious. Because men like to play the field for a very long time.
When you're with a guy of value.
And that's what Myron's about again. So like you start off when you're with a guy of value, and she's like, men like to play the field for a very long time. No, the top tier guys have all the leverage. They have all the options, right? They have an endless rotation. So yeah, those top tier dudes, they're going to be blowing backs out forever. Even a lot of those guys, even after they settle down, a lot of them still, they have their side pieces and all that. Most of those dudes aren't going to stop. And that's what she's referring to. The top tier dudes, like these guys, they're playing games. Nah, they're running the numbers. They're running the numbers. That's all they're doing. They have all the leverage. And Myron's about to break it down to her.
You got to understand that he has the leverage, not you. You're applying to be his girlfriend. My way or the highway, baby, because at the end of the day, when you can replace a girl, that's when she respects you. It's on the woman to prove to me that she's worthy of a relationship. That's where a lot of girls make a mistake. They'll sit there and say, I'm good, I'm loyal, blah, 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 blah. I want to, see how you do before you get promoted. I'm not going to give a girl the position of secretary or underboss, right? Or second in charge of my company unless she's been vetted. She's got to work her way up. The problem is that we give women CEO jobs when they haven't proven themselves and they don't respect the job.
Who's listening to this man?
So here's the thing. You're looking at equality from a human perspective. I'm not saying that men are better than women from a human perspective. I'm saying that men are leaders, so therefore we cannot be equal. When you're on the battlefield, right, and the lieutenant or whoever the commanding officer is on the battlefield, you're not equal to him as, a regular soldier. He is the leader. You're not equal, but there's a reason. There's a hierarchy to dictate order. If the woman is equal to the guy, well, who's going to make the final decision? Nothing gets done by a committee. There always has to be one leader in charge. There's a reason why there's a president, there's a CEO, etc. Both people can't be alphas, as they say. The problem is this: women are confused about what men actually want.
So I'm gonna pause it there for a second. I talk to people about this all the time. Someone's going to have to lead a relationship. Someone is going to have to lead. Someone has to be in charge. Someone's in command. Hey, we talked about that person having the leverage is the person being willing to walk away from a relationship, right? And let's say, okay, that was during the dating phase and all that. You vetted each other. You guys are it. We're going to get married. You get married, you tie the knot. Now, once you get married in Western society, the woman, generally speaking, is the one who has all the leverage. But I say it's the woman slant, the person who makes the least money, right? That's the person who has the leverage, because the other person, if it breaks, if the contract is broken, if the marriage is dissolved through divorce, the person making the most money is going to be paying the other person, right? But let's put all that aside for a moment. Let's just say we got two people in a relationship. Bam. Someone needs to lead that relationship. Someone is going to be in charge overall. And I'm not talking about a little thing here, a little thing there. Like, no, someone has to wear the pants, right? And what I'm hearing today is this 50-50 partnership thing. You hear it over and over and over again. And my thing is this: I don't care who leads, but someone's going to have to lead that relationship. Someone is in charge. So, this is what Myron is alluding to. Right. So over in Fresh and Fit world, in the manosphere on Fresh and Fit, and talking about that platform in particular, Myron says this all the time, right? If women are in charge of a relationship, they'll lead that relationship right to the demise of said relationship. They'll lead it to the end. It won't work. It doesn't work. Men have to be in charge. Men have to be leaders. They have to be, they have to stand up. They have to be men. They have to be protectors. They have to be this and that. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm leaning towards that. I'm not saying women can't be in charge. I'm not saying that at all. But I've seen a lot of relationships that were being run by women. And a lot of the times it's like, well, why did you leave, dude? He did everything you said. You ran the house. You ran the money. He did everything you wanted him to do. And it's just like, I don't know. I think I outgrew him. I don't know. Now, there are a lot of relationships out there where it just works. Like if I'm in a relationship with, let's say I got a woman and she's extremely good with money, then guess what? She's going to take care of the money. She's going to take care of the finances. You know what I mean? If I'm really good at, I'm cool with doing all the landscaping and all that, I'm going to take care of that. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about when it comes down, when you have two people, right? It's an even number. Two people who don't agree. Someone has to make that call. Someone has to be in command. Someone has to be in charge. That's what he's talking about, and that's what I'm talking about now. You know what I mean? I've been in situations, I've been in long-term relationships where we would do what my woman wanted to do, but I made the decision. All right, we're gonna go with that. What you said, we're gonna go with that. Or I would be like, I don't like that. We're gonna do it this way, and this is why. Convince me if you know a better way. Show me. But with the information I got right here, this is what we're going to do. We're doing this. I'm making a call. I'm making that call. And I'm like, and I say, most of the guys I know, they're in relationships, they're in charge. They are the CEO. They are the commanding officer. The XO, the executive officer, is their wife. And it's like right there. They're like right there. But when it comes time to make a decision, The dude normally makes the decision. But he makes that decision based on everything that his wife says. A lot of times he'll be like, all right, look, we're going to do that because what you said makes sense. But sometimes she might be like, that's not going to work. We're going to do it this way. And that's what I'm talking about. Those guys who just sit back and let their women make all the decisions all the time. It's kind of like, yo, she leaves him. Now, again, this is anecdotal to me. You know what I mean? This is stuff that I have seen. I don't know what the rest of the world is like. When I say the rest of the world, I mean the rest of this country. But I do know this. 70% of divorces are initiated by women. I do know that. And I do know that number goes up to 90% if she has higher education, right? Master degrees and higher, right? So just letting you know. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know. That's my 2 cents on that. So let's get back to the video. 2052. Okay.
Think a CEO, a boss, a business owner, ambitious, competitive woman. We don't give a shit about none of that stuff. Men don't care about that. And I would argue the more money a man makes, the less he cares about his woman's ability to earn money. Men and women are not the same. Women basically become the very men that they want to attract.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, so men, like, I find that men will say that they like women that have ambition to start. It's what makes...
It's a lie to get laid.
No, I wouldn't say it's even a lie.
It's a lie to get laid.
It's not, because for me, like, whenever, like, I've dated and stuff like that, a lot of men say they like the fact that I am ambitious, that I have a career.
They want to get laid.
No, but
You know, Myron keeps hitting her with that. They want to get laid. She keeps saying, no, they told me that I'm ambitious and I'm making my money and I'm this and I'm that. A lot of times, you know, this is another thing on the Red Pill side that they say all the time, like the top tier guys, the guys who are making the big money, you know, the guys who are making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 a year and up. Those guys don't care what their spouse makes. They don't. They don't care about her money. They don't. They understand that the fact that they are successful like that, they're expected to pay and take care of and provision and provide for and secure. They know that. They're prepared for that. In fact, they're like, you know, when they finally get, their woman is making $80,000 a year, $90,000 a year, like, baby, you ain't even got to do that if you don't want to. How about we have kids? How about you stay home, raise kids? They had those conversations. But ladies have a hard time understanding that. The dudes, the top tier guys, they don't care how much money you make. They don't. If they're sitting across from you and they're like, oh, yeah, I like that because you're ambitious and you're making some money. Myron's right, man. They just saying that. They saying that to get one step closer to the Foxy Brown. They don't care. They might be curious as to what you're doing. I'm like, oh, that's fascinating. You work with this, that, and the third. That seems exciting. They don't care how much money you make. Now, when you start getting into a lower tiers, yeah, them dudes probably care. They probably care. And a lot of those dudes will be insecure with the woman who makes a lot of money because they're not secure with themselves. I think Brother Tarus was asking me on the show yesterday, like, well, if you had a woman and she's going to pay for everything and da-da-da-da-da, would that bother you? I'm like, it will bother me if she's trying to use that money as some sort of leverage. Like she gets one time to try to use that money and hold it over my head, then she got to go. Right? Again, I'm the guy who's willing to walk. So I don't care about your money. You got to go if you're going to act up with that money. You know what I mean? I had another buddy of mine that was saying, hey, you know, how many of these top tier guys will let a woman take care of them? I was like, probably none. I just don't see a top tier guy being okay with a woman, quote unquote, taking care of him. Like, oh, you can just sit here and stay at home and this and that. I don't see a top tier guy doing that. He has way too many other options. So I was like, why would he do that? Now, are there some guys in the bottom tier that like have a woman take care of them? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But she's going to run that. That's her money, her rules, her house. Right? So y'all remember that song, Erykah Badu? You better call Tyrone, but you can't use my phone. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Women don't really want to take care of dudes. It goes back to, it's talking about biology and stuff like that. They'll do it for a while, but women don't want to take care of dudes. They just don't. That's the ultimate masculine burden. You take care of another human being. Women don't want to do that, but it's okay in our society for men to take care of women. And I'm cool with that. Tell me if I'm wrong, people. If I'm off base, let me know.
I'm saying, in general, a lot of men get irritated, like nowadays, like, so you're dating all these women and you're going to say, all these women do this, is they do nothing and they expect. But that's the qualities that a traditional woman would bring. She'd want a man to do things for her, so.
But here's the thing. She complements that man's life.
So do you want a relationship?
Monogamous?
So how many girlfriends do you want?
I mean...
Myron wants 4 wives. It's all good. It is just his thing. He gonna do his thing. I ain't mad at him. That's not something I want to do. That's not something I want to do. I ain't gonna lie. I can proudly say I've never cheated in a relationship. I've never when I tell a woman you're my woman, that's it. I cut everybody else off. That's it. I've never done that. You know what I mean? But that is a choice. That is a choice. A lot of people feel that that's a requirement. You know, they feel merch. That's a requirement. It's a choice. Most dudes are not going to sit back and be monogamous in my experience. Again, it's anecdotal. In my experience, most dudes, especially top tier guys, man, they got way too many options to exercise. There's way too many beautiful women out there. And sex is really just that. So, and like I've said this before, I've never cheated, but I don't put myself in a situation where that could arise. If I'm on a business trip somewhere, I'm not at the bar, right? I'm not around. I'm not in a lounge somewhere. I'm gonna go do whatever business I got to do. I'm going back to the hotel and I'm sitting in that room. I don't want them to say, hey, we got a masseuse who's going to come by your room and give you a massage. Nope. Don't send her in here. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to do that. Nuh-uh. They been done send some dime in there fresh off the boat from Medellin. No, don't send her in here. No. I'll sit here and be tense. Thanks, but no thanks. But that's me. You know what I mean? I don't hold anybody to my standard. To each his own. Do you, bro. Do you. But don't send no dime in here. I'm over here trying to be monogamous. Don't mess up my game. But like I said, I can honestly say that I've never cheated. But here's the part I wanted to look at here. What men want. This is, I guess, the red pill argues that women don't understand what men really want. So let's just check out this part.
Man in the area. That women are pleased by you being the best version of yourself. As a man gains more status, success, income, etc., the woman wins. She's all his success, she benefits from that. It's not the same. When a woman makes more money, earns more status, etc., and she starts to outgrow her man, she's going to look for a better man. Men and women are not the same.
But some women, we are emotional beings. Like, we will stay with the man.
Which is a problem. They're erratic.
But we will stay with the man. Like, if a man loves us and is loyal, we will stay.
Really? Is that?
I just don't agree with that. The numbers don't bear that out. 70% of divorces are initiated by women. I think that number is higher for just normal breakups today, especially today. I would say 80 to 90% of breakups are initiated by girls. You know what I mean? And here's the thing: this is anecdotal. There's no proof. No one tracks that, but they can track marriages. They can see who's filing for divorce, right? So yeah, I got pushback on that, love.
Is that why women initiate an overwhelming amount of the breakups? Because they're emotional and they're loyal? No. Women are the most disloyal creatures that we have.
Yeah, but I feel like
which is okay.
He was like, women are some of the most disloyal creatures. I wouldn't use those words, but I can see why he did. But yeah, Brother Myron, I wouldn't have used those words, but hey, it is what it is. I can separate the message. Let's see, 21, 23, 20, what the hell? 22, 35. Oh, we're going to continue. We're just going to continue.
So do you like the whole sugar baby kind of lifestyle? Man look after the woman. That's you.
No, not at all.
But that sounds like it. Like, you want to be this provider. So that sounds like it.
Well, here's the thing.
That's for Brother Jose who's in the house. You know what I'm saying? And Dr. B's in the house. What's good, y'all? I meant to hit this button when I first saw y'all, but I didn't want to stop the flow. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here. Let's continue.
But then you moan about women for doing that. So, if you show that you
I accept that women are hypergamous creatures that want to get their needs met through men. I accept this reality, and I've accepted it a long time ago. I'm a firm believer that men need to be men need to lead, women follow, men pay for dates, men should provide, men should be breadwinners. I think women working should be elective. I don't think it should be mandatory.
This guy is definitely a sugar daddy.
I tell guys all the time, go on sugar sites and use them to date, because there's a lot of girls on there that aren't necessarily, how do I say this, sugar babies that are just looking to be taken care of and paid an allowance. There's a good amount of girls on there that make their own money or just want to deal with a guy that has his stuff together. Let's be honest. Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, these traditional dating apps, they fail 90+% of men, and the stats show that. How you meet a woman matters a lot more than meeting the woman. And what I mean by that is that women place a lot of importance in the context under which they meet you. It's my job as a man to not get finessed.
Did you ever get finessed? Because I kind of feel like you run this
every girl
flag so hard. Like,
every guy's taking L's. I wouldn't be in a position to be able to give this information if I didn't take plenty of L's.
Every dude takes L's. I just told you I took one a few years ago. Right? If I was in my late 40s making rookie mistakes. Everyone takes L's. It's the foolish man that doesn't learn from those mistakes. The wise man learns from other people's mistakes. But when it comes to these sort of matters, man, you're going to take some L's. It just works that way, people.
Listen, he's definitely been finessed before, and now he's like come back with a vengeance. Okay, it'll be interesting to see what like your experience with London women are.
Okay, they're not as hot as the girls in Miami. I'll just be honest. Yeah. You know, but Miami's an anomaly. Like, we got the most attractive girls, you know, per capita. Like, in some places in the world, like if you could compete, like maybe with Colombia, Brazil, etc. But yeah, I mean, Miami's an anomaly. Yeah, British girls are not as hot as Miami girls. I mean, but it is what it is. Yeah. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I'll try to womanize here and see what happens. But my standards have went up.
Absolutely womanize. When young guys, you need to learn that. You need to go out there and you gotta put your, you know what I mean, your dating strategy up against the female dating strategy. It is player versus player. It is a game. You gotta learn how to play that game. If you don't know how to play the game, you will get wrecked. Simple as that. And I'm not saying go out there to play the game just to get your numbers up. To truly go out there and assess what's going on, so you can see what's coming, so you can vet when you finally do meet a good woman. You will have a way to vet her. You know what I'm saying? You'll have a process in place, because I'm telling you, it's getting harder and harder to go out here and find some quality women. And women, I would imagine it's getting harder and harder for you guys to find quality men. You know what I mean? It's just the times we're living in is crazy right now. Absolutely crazy. So there's a part I wanted to jump to. They were talking about body count. And yeah, my thing is, people ask me about body count. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I will never ask a woman her body count. I've never done that. I probably never will. Right? It just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry I'm not looking at the camera, y'all. I'm sitting here trying to move. I'll just leave it there. I will never ask a woman her body count because it doesn't matter to me. Right? The way that she acts, right? The way that a woman acts will reveal to me everything I need to know. Who knows her, where, you know, like where we go. Like, if you're out, you know, you can look at someone's social media. This is where women tell themselves all the time, is their social media. You look at their social media, right? You know this woman, she's told you what she does for a living. You can kind of sit there and I'm like, okay, this is like the average American. She's probably doing, you know, better than the average man. So say she's making 60 grand. Let's give her $70,000 a year. She's making $70,000 a year, right? She's living in Tampa, right? So you can see, okay, I know where she lives. I can kind of figure out, you know, if she's renting or does she own, right? Okay, she's renting. I know the area she's in. I know what the rents go for over there. I know what utilities run about. I know what kind of car she drives. I can surmise what kind of insurance, right? You can do rough math. And you're sitting there looking at her Instagram, and there she is in London. Oh, there she is in Tokyo. There she is in LA, red carpet event. There she is in New York at the Met. Bro, she can't do all that on her salary. She can't do it. The airfare alone, she can't do it. You're looking at that stuff in 1 year. You look at like, okay, in 12 months, right? She's been to like 12 different cities on planet Earth. She's been to UAE. She was in Dubai. She was in London. She was in Frankfurt, Germany, right? Holy hell. She was in LA. She was in Miami. She was in New York. She was in Paris. Huh? She was in Greece. Are you looking at all this stuff, right? Like, yo, it's a head scratcher. She ain't paying for this shit. And then people are like, well, you don't know. Maybe she gets perks at her work. Maybe she gets this. Maybe she gets that. Doesn't matter. That chick right there, recreational use only. We're just going to have some fun. Even if her parents are paying for all that. Her parents weren't in the pictures. You know what I mean? So I don't have to ask you your body count. I'm just going to see how you move. And that's enough for me. You know what I mean? But body count is what everyone's talking about these days. You know what I mean? So let's watch this part right here.
Tough to do.
This is ridiculous. What, sleep with loads of women?
100%. Very difficult.
I do agree, like, it's a lot harder for men to get sex, but I don't understand.
Women truly don't appreciate how difficult it is for men to have sex. Just to have sex. It is extremely difficult. Again, and this is, I forget what study it is. I'm gonna do a show. We're gonna bring all these studies up, and I'm gonna be able to cite the sources. But there are numbers out there to show that the average North American male will only have seven sexual partners in his life. The average North American male. right? North America, bro, it includes Mexico. Y'all think Mexicans are down there getting it, reproducing like rabbits. Nah, 7. You know what I mean? Is Mexico, U.S., and Canada. 7, right? A third of men between 18 and 30 have been sexless in the past 12 months. A third of men, and that number is rising. That number is rising, right? So it is extremely difficult for men to get sexual access. Yeah, you can go pay for it. You know what I mean? But that's not going to give you the true intimacy that you crave. That's going to take care of the physical side of it. It is what it is. But, just look at the strip clubs. Dudes going to strip clubs and they fall in love with strippers all the time. And they go in there, they're spending all that money just to have conversations. It's not even about sex. It's not even about sex. So most women they truly don't understand how difficult it is for men to get sex today.
Like why there's so much obsession with like this body count and everything and the double standard.
Do you have an issue that men have an issue with a woman's body count, or do you have an issue with men wanting a lot of sex?
A bit of both, really, because I kind of feel like you get mad if a woman is sleeping with multiple men.
Yeah, rightfully so.
But then if you do the same.
Men and women aren't
It's so funny. She's having this talk about sexuality and body count, and she's sitting there and she's having this conversation. You can see that she starts to pull in her cleavage. You know what I mean? It's like right off rip, it's like, But hey, ladies, here's the deal. You can sleep with as many men as you want. It is extremely easy for women to have sex. The whole incel thing, right? Involuntarily celibate. That's what incel means. Involuntarily celibate. There's not a woman in America or in the Western world who is involuntarily celibate, right? Keep that in mind. This only affects men. Men are sexless, not women, right? It is extremely easy for women to get sex. Therefore, you don't get points for having a high body count. You just don't. You want to keep that in the closet. You don't get points for smashing a bunch of dudes. If a woman walks into the room and she said, I had sex with 100 men yesterday, people are going to be like, yeah, of course you did. You know what I mean? She don't even have to be pretty. I'm sure you did. But if I walked in and said I had sex with 100 women yesterday, y'all all going to be, it'll be so many blue caps in the chat. You know what I mean? People be like, look, people be lying, saying that Fresh is lying. Fresh is lying. He ain't had sex with that many women. Bro, I don't know what his number is, but I can tell you this. That dude has women lined up coming to see him. Bro, I have seen it. Just to the point where I asked him, man, you tired of this yet? He was like, no, not really, not yet. He's running them, or they're running him, however you want to look at it. But that makes him a high value guy because he's running them like that. And people are like, well, it's not all about sex. It's difficult to get sex. It's difficult to get a Super Bowl ring. The Cincinnati Bengals have never had one. It's difficult. I think the Bengals have been around since the 1960s. We don't have a Super Bowl ring, right? It's difficult. So when the guys walk around with their ring, someone like Tom Brady, how many rings he got? 7? That's an extraordinary man, right? He's extraordinarily talented, right? Think about that. It's really hard. Ladies, you don't get points because you know how to walk. And that's to like for women to have sex, it's just easy. You don't even have to snap your fingers. I mean, women can get sex so easily and men cannot. So ladies, if you got a high body count, no one's going to praise you for it. They're not. They're not going to praise you for it. But if you are married to a man you love, you honor, you respect, you have kids, you've raised great kids, you kept a great home, even had your career and you did all that, you're going to get a lot of praise for that. If you've been married 30 plus years and you still with the same dude and y'all love each other and your kids and everything's perfect, that's like winning the Super Bowl, the World Cup. You know what I mean? Man, that's like with the World Series and the NBA Finals. That's because that is so hard to do. Half of marriages end in divorce in this country. Half. You know what I mean? Think about that. And of the ones who stay married, how many of those are really happy? You got all this stuff going on. To each his own. People had open relationships and all this other kind of stuff. Hey, whatever. To each their own. But all I'm saying is this. Coming across a woman who's been married 30 years and raised her kids, right, and still out there, with her husband rocking it and letting that she is winning. You know what I mean? That's how you win as a woman. As a dude, he can go out there and smash 1,000 women. People are going to be like, he is one of the GOATs. And he's still going to be able to find a woman to lock down and settle down with and still be cool. Right? It's just, it's two different scales. I don't know what else to say. It's two different scales. You know what I mean? So, but let's continue.
The same. Well, how about this? Let's say me and you are dating, right? Hypothetically. And you find out that I might have done some gay porn in the past to make some money. What would happen? Keep it 1,000 with me.
What would happen?
Yeah.
I feel like...
You would break up with me. That's the truth. You would leave me if you found out.
Well, because...
Checkmate. Cheyenne, I think you're beautiful. I think she has a very sharp mind. A lot of this is for the cameras. Yeah, you got to understand that she's a on-air personality. She gets paid to do this, so she has to. You know what I mean? She has to be in character. She has to do her thing. But he really got. Look at her face. He got her there. Checkmate. Real talk. Your past matters. We'll continue.
I would assume that you were gay, and then
Okay.
I'm your secret to cover up your gay
But my
identity.
past matters, right?
No, but it's not necessarily like the fact that it's your past that matters. It's just the fact that you aren't being.
But it was unattractive. That's how men feel about women that have a past. Men are interested in a woman's past. Women are interested in a man's future. Body count matters, ladies. If you're a hoe, you are a hoe by definition. And men are not hoes. We are hoe makers. That's.
People don't like that statement, but men can't be hoes. It's not. The term isn't derogatory when it's. You know what I mean? It's a compliment when it comes to men, and it's derogatory when it comes to women. And I know there are a lot of women out there like, man, I won't sleep with the dudes, had a bunch of women and this, that, and the third. I understand that, but there are a lot of women who will. Right? It's never a bad thing, and it's not something I can walk in with a shirt on saying I slept with 1,000 women. It doesn't work that way. It's just a confidence in the way you move. Women find those traits attractive. Whereas if a guy comes across a woman who moves like she's been with 1,000 guys, that's going to turn him off. Like, oh, man, that's just a freak, man. I'm out. You know what I mean? I'm out. I don't even want to deal with that. You know what I mean? Especially if the guy's older. Like, man, I don't want to deal with that, bro. Like they say, man, she's for the streets. Brother Dusto's in the house. What's good, bro? What's good, bro? I know I'm about to drop the link here in a second, because I know you had some pushback on something I said, because I saw it in one of the chats. But hey, man, like boy. It's a double standard that does not benefit women, and women hate it. You know what I mean? That's what it boils down to. Ladies, you go out there smashing different dudes every night, that's fine, but keep it in the closet. Don't let it get out.
The reality.
So would you not be with a woman for her family background or whatever like that? Because I kind of feel when you do your background check, those things are really important when you're dating someone, because you kind of want to understand their mindset.
Yeah, there's always exceptions to the rule, but in general, girls that come from broken homes typically tend to have very bad.
I just want to pause it real quick. Brother Michael said, I got rejected last night at the gym by 2 girls. What did I do? I moved on. Hey, man, I don't shoot my shot. You know what I mean? I don't gun at women in the gym. I don't. If you're in the gym, let them come to you, bro. That's a trap. They're in there looking for a certain type dude. You feel me? Let them approach you. If you are what they want in the gym, they're gonna come holler at you, man. Trust me. If you go holler at a girl, I just see you not succeeding. It's just not gonna work. You know what I mean? I've seen dudes going into the gym, at the gym trying to holler at chicks. I've rarely seen a guy, you know what I mean, close. Now, but those mega dudes, like the big dudes, like the ripped up guys and all that, yeah, but they don't approach women, and women approach them. So if you're in the gym, this is my personal advice. I just saw that. I wanted to say this real quick. If you're in the gym, let them approach you, bro. Right? That's just what I tell everybody in the gym, man. Go to the gym, work out. You in there, focused on you, focus on your body, focus on your workout, and bounce. You know what I mean? But if you're going to try to put yourself in a situation where women approach you, take the spinning classes, take those little extra classes or whatever, do that. Got to give women an opportunity to come and talk to you. It's a reason. Hey, Mike, you going to do the spinning class today? Like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do the spinning class today. Or if back in the day, they used to have Taibo and stuff like that. Or if they got like a yoga class or whatever, take the yoga class. But let them approach you. You cannot look thirsty. And if you approach women in real life anywhere close to the way you do it online, bro, they going to look at you like this is the thirstiest man ever. That is definitely going to work against you. Right. So if you're in the gym, you want to focus on your workout, focus on you. Let women approach you. Don't make eye contact with them. Nothing. Let them try to figure you out. Don't be that dude that's like the social butterfly trying to boom, 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 holla, 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 holla. You know what I mean? That shit don't work, bro. You know what I mean? That's why we make fun of. That's why I got the damn button.
Holla, 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 holla.
I use that button to it's lightweight me clowning people, right? So, and I get what you're saying, like shooters shoot. I understand that, but if that's your game and you running sheer numbers, okay, fine. But I think that talking to girls in the gym is probably the toughest environment for a guy to get on. I think that's even tougher than getting on talking to a bartender or talking to a stripper. I think top of the list, toughest places to meet a woman, I would say to talk to a woman, holler at a woman, is the gym. In the gym, let her come to you. Point blank, period. That's my take on that. I just saw that. I'm like, yo, bro, I wouldn't be doing that shit. But here we go. Back to the video.
Bad habits. Girls that don't have a father in their life typically tend to have bad habits. Is this all? No, but a majority of women that don't have these things in place typically don't end up being good women in general. They don't have rudimentary basics. Or if they have trauma in their life, whatever, trauma destroys women, but it builds men.
This guy is insane. Like, I actually think he believes his own bullshit.
Myron believes every word he's fucking saying. She's sitting there like he believes every word he's saying. I understand where he's come from. There's a lot of truth in what he says. There's a lot of truth in what he says. Let's continue.
So as a guy, it's your job to find a girl that isn't, and it's going to sound terrible, and hopefully I don't get canceled for me saying this, tarnished.
Tarnished.
Yeah.
It's not really fair to say tarnished.
Yeah, well, I mean,
because like a lot of people do hold themselves accountable and do the work and personal development.
Women?
Well, yes, we do. So before you want to, glad you find it funny. Why does he keep laughing at me?
most girls don't hold themselves accountable whatsoever. Most girls rarely self-approve, if ever. Most girls think, I'm special, I'm perfect.
I'm on the pause it again. I'm looking at Brother Michael. It's like when it's time to pay the check, all I do is give the waitress the card. Oh, okay. That must be on something. Yeah. I mean, I do the same thing. Like most people with money, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like I've been fortunate to be around some real high end dudes, high end women, like real wealthy folks. Yeah, bro. I know folks that like have money missing from their accounts, and I'm talking like tens of thousands of dollars missing from their accounts, and they don't even realize it until their accountant tells them. You know what I mean? So those people never worry about. I mean, it's just one of those things. And maybe I missed part of the conversation, but it's one of those things like, all right, I don't have to look at the bill. Here's my card. I mean, that's cool, but there's a lot of wealthy people out there, bro. There's a lot of people to do that. I do it because I don't want it to take forever. Like I don't even, I don't say, I'm ready for the check. I handle my card. You know what I mean? They don't even ask me. I'm like, okay, I'm done. Here's my card. So they come back with the bill and I just sign because I'm with you on that. But it doesn't set you aside. It doesn't give you like any, I don't think it gives you any bump in status or anything like that. It might be impressive if you have a woman sitting across the table from you, if that's what you guys were talking about. If you got a woman sitting across the table from you, the bill comes or you give your card or whatever and you just pay for it without even looking, she might be like, ooh, especially if you got her in a nice place. You know what I mean? That could be a thing that could be worked in there. So I'm gonna have to go back and read the chats to see what I missed. But we're gonna continue.
The way that I am, I'm a princess. I deserve the world, and unfortunately, reality kind of smacks them in the face because they can't keep a guy long term. They just get used for sex. And once modern day women understand that you actually have to compete, you actually have to show up to that job interview for that prestigious law firm in a suit and actually be ready to do the work, you're never going to be able to keep a job, or in this case, keep a guy.
Facts on that. And a lot of people don't want to hear that. You got to compete, ladies. If you're going after these top tier guys, you're going to have to compete. There's a lot they have so many options. And that's what this third wave feminism has put all the leverage in the laps of the top tier guys. They have all the leverage. Women are coming at them. It's to the point now. I was at the bar Sunday watching my Bengals beat up on the Cleveland Browns. Shout out to Brother Tarus. And we were leaving the bar, and there were a couple sisters there. You know what I mean? They were definitely in their 40s. I would say they were in their early to mid 40s. And I'm walking by, and with my peripherals, I could see them tapping each other. It's like, look. It was me and my people. So me and my dude walking out of there, and you could tell they were hunting. They were in the sports bar, two ladies by themselves, trying to get a lot of attention. Detroit fans. And, one was a Detroit fan. She was making a lot of noise. She was trying so hard to get people to look at her. But here's the thing. They weren't attractive. Doesn't matter what race they were. That doesn't mean nothing. They simply weren't attractive. And they're loud. Right? They're loud. It's just like there's no way in hell I'm going to waste any time talking to that person. right? And had they been closer to us or had they saw where we were sitting, I'm pretty sure they would have made their way over to us. And I'm glad they didn't see us, right? It's like, ladies, I'm telling you, y'all need to lock your guys in soon and keep them. Lock them in early and keep them. Don't let it, you know what I'm saying? Don't let time pass you by and you wake up one day and it's like, boom, because it's going to be hard to compete. It's going to be hard to compete, especially if you're going after the top tier guys. Now, if you're going after the bottom 80, you're good. You're good. You can find you a guy. You know what I mean? There was one last part I wanted to cover, and then we're going to drop the link for anybody who wants to jump up. I'm hoping Brother Tarusa want to jump up. It'll be kind of cool. But let's check out this part right here.
This guy isn't there because like women are designed to look for survival value in men. Men are designed to look for replication value in women.
Yeah, I think it's unfair to like completely rule that out because I feel like it's fair for a man to be able to do that. You are allowed to have a moment of weakness.
Life isn't fair.
But okay, life's not fair. But I think you should be allowed your moment of weakness, and I kind of feel like from a woman's perspective, it will be then how you then deal with that.
I think we should end world hunger. I also think that we shouldn't have nuclear weapons and people shouldn't be dying needlessly, etc. But I can't operate on should, could, and would. I operate on what is. And what is that women are inherently unattracted to weak men, and crying and showing vulnerability is a component to that.
No, so you wouldn't cry in front of me?
Absolutely not. Never. You would never see that.
So they're talking about crying in front of people, man. Crying in front of people. Yeah. When they first started talking about this, I was kind of like, I don't know, because it's emphasized heavily on the Fresh and Fit podcast. And I was thinking about it, and you know what?
Everybody,
I got a story.
Sit down, please.
Sit down, everybody.
It's story time. It's story time.
So here's the deal. I know a dude I came up with. You know, this is back in the day when I was, you know what I mean, we was in the streets for real. Right? This guy, certified. You heard me? This man was right there through it all. I'm talking with the hands. I'm talking slicing. I'm talking with the back. You know what I'm saying? All that, man. I'm talking about with them things, certified. This man, right? Big dude, fierce. You know what I mean? Ain't no bitch in him, not a drop of bitch blood in this man's body, right? Now, this is well over 30 plus years ago when we was doing whatever we was doing back then. Fast forward, over 35 years later. So far removed from the streets, hardworking man, family man, you know what I mean, nuclear family right there, all that. Well, something happened, right? Something happened. It was a bad accident, and it was involving his kids, right? So it was like involving his children. His wife was there. Something happened. And it needed, like paramedics had to be there and all this kind of stuff, like accident. So everything got sorted out. It was all over. Everybody was okay. Thank God. No one was like, there was no permanent injuries or anything like that. Everybody was fine. But the wife started making comments. Like, I ain't never seen him cry before. I don't understand what's going on. What? And it's not like the man was sitting there crying like a little kid. Like, it wasn't none of that. Like just a couple tears. Because he's trying to figure out what's going on with his children and this and that. Couple tears. And that's all you want to hear from this woman now. It's about how he cried. So all I got to say is this, bro. Myron and Fresh are on to something. Be careful with your emotions. Be careful, man. Because you just don't know how that other party is going to act. And that's what he's talking about here. We're going to get back to the video, but I'm just telling you, I seen it. It's one of those things that shocked me. It shook me. And I was like, man, these dudes be talking about it and I see this shit. This man, like the woman involved don't even know half the shit this man did. No idea what was going on in the streets. How real this guy is. We're talking about a trill ass dude. A couple of tears and now you won't act funny? Let's continue.
Have you ever been in love?
To a woman?
Yeah.
I've had love for women, but I don't think.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it's in a man's best interest to be in love with a woman.
But I
You
feel
lose control.
So I feel like everything in your standpoint on women is gonna change the moment you like meet the right woman. Yeah.
That's cute, but no. I mean, I have, I've had love for women, but I'm never gonna fall in love with a woman because when you fall in love with a woman, what happens is you start to lose grounding and you start to lose that rational thought. A lot of the stupid things that men do is because of love.
So you're scared to be vulnerable
No.
and let yourself go and be in love. Like you're gonna block yourself from like emotion and to feel for something that could be really amazing for you because you're scared to be vulnerable.
No, because I understand that men and women are different, and men love women far differently than women love men. Men love women for real. Women love men.
Women love men for real.
No, they don't.
Yes,
Women
we do.
love men under the premise that they provide value. Men love women idealistically. Women tend to love men more from an opportunistic standpoint.
And I do. I see that. You know what I mean? But there are women who like love, but here's the thing. They do I agree 100% with what Myron is saying? I don't agree with like don't ever love. I don't agree with that part, but I absolutely 100% agree with the fact that once you let your emotions out, it is a problem, bro. The penitentiary is full of dudes who let their emotions out, and so is the cemetery. It is a problem. Women are used to processing these emotions. Men aren't necessarily used to doing that. So be careful with your emotions, gentlemen, especially if you don't understand, if you're not unplugged. Because I know guys who have lost it when they catch their girl cheating. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it. They don't know how to handle like dudes fall for real. Like dude, when a guy's in love, he's in love. Like for real. Women, hey bro, how serious can they be in love? Because 70% of divorces are initiated by women. How deeply in love can you be? These guys aren't filing. You know what I mean? And like my man Perry Davis said, Perry Davis Jr., Esquire, shout out to my dudes. You know what I mean? He said it. Women plan, men react. Women plan to end these relationships. The guy's completely in love. He ain't even thinking about that. So like I said, you know what I mean? I gotta give Myron props on that. You know what I'm saying? I agree with him. And no, we will not need to do a part 3 because we are at the end of what I wanted to cover in the video. And I'm about to drop the link right now. I know we went long, but I'll drop the link real quick. We'll run like another 10 minutes or 20 minutes to get some feedback from anyone who might want to come up. But no, we're not going to do a part 3. We're not going to do a part 3. Definitely had to get through this. Thank y'all so much. The chat was active, yo. I'm like really trying to keep up, just showing the chats on the screen. And we're getting close to the super chat, y'all. Like we're under 500 view hours needed to be eligible. We're under 5. I think we might be under 4 at this point. The last couple of videos were pretty good. People are watching. So it is what it is. Sister Candace want to know how many men in this chat have cried in front of your women and why. Yeah, that is a good question. How many of you dudes have cried? Men are emotional too. I mean, it's just one of those things. Like if you know what I mean, like I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been in some drama. I've seen some people get hurt. You know what I mean? Like my people, and I've seen people laying in the box. You know what I mean? I remember when I was told about my man Lil Dave, you know what I'm saying? He was murdered. That hurt me, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, I cried, but I ain't gonna cry in front of some woman. Where was I? I was on a mission. I was in Michigan on a mission when I got word. And I just, you know, I was at work. As soon as my duty day was over, I went in my room and I just sat there. You know what I mean? I shed some tears. You know, I had some drinks for Lil Dave. I still be drinking for Lil Dave. You know what I mean? So, yeah, men do that. Men do that. But like I said, I'm not trying to cry in front of my woman, especially all the time. She'll lose attraction. I'm telling you, it's a hit. It could be a hit. You know what I mean? Like, go somewhere else, get yourself together, man. Figure that out, and then come back. You know what I mean? Do your best to be stoic. You know what I mean? Like, Brother Dusto, man, I dropped the link if you want to pop on, bro. But yeah, I don't do that. I don't do that. What we know podcast is in the house. What's good, man? What's good? I don't know if that's Rob or JT, but love. It's all love. You know, as far as women loving opportunistically, I mean, if you believe in hypergamy and you believe in female dating strategy, that's not a big leap. You know what I mean? But I do know women that I know women who've like, you know, invested in the wrong dude and they got wrecked. It's not that women don't get wrecked in this, they do. But this is, you know, this is like the manosphere. This is like the red pill stuff, bro. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I've seen women who have the best guy that they can get. They're married to him. They love him. They honor him. They respect him. They have children. They've built a life. And those women don't see other guys. There's nothing another dude can do. Nothing. Because they got the guy that they want. Those women do exist. They're out there. You know what I mean? I would argue they're harder to find. Oh, my bad. You don't see the link? Here it is. I didn't hit enter. My bad. Y'all know I was on some big dummy shit.
You big dummy.
Sorry about that. That was on me. There you go. There's the link. I'm gonna catch up with a few of these chats. Brother Michael Cheyenne wants Myron. Probably. You know what I mean? And then we got Sister Candace. Myron went on an epic rant last night. I missed that. I was in and out on that show. And then we're talking about Mad 4. Anyone remember Skippy? Yo, I tried to help Skippy out too, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I tried to help Skippy out. Some people you just can't help, y'all. We got Brother Dusto in the house, though. What's good, fam? What's good? Scams likely up in this joint.
Hey, what's going on? It's my last day as a Tampa resident.
Congratulations, man. You made it out. I'm still here, bro. You got to come back on a Friday or let me know what's going on up there, man. If they got a good little salsa scene, man, I'll come up there and kick it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I keep you posted. I'll probably be coming to Tampa, pretty much. Yeah.
So what's good? You got some pushback for me, player.
Two things. One is pushback for something Myron said, but I guess it's general pushback when they talk about the leverage thing. If a man has the money, and his money is here, and her money is here, he's got leverage. He can walk in the house, I've got the money, sit down. Not necessarily. Or if the man has this and there's no automatic leverage. There actually is no leverage. Does a person want to be there or do they not? And most women, if they don't want to be there, they're going to walk out the front door and they're not going to come back. There are things that keep women. Connection, communication, appeal, cashioline, yeah, finances and stuff, they do matter. But is this the place where is she being provided emotional stability? Does she want to be here or does she want to be there? There's a lot of women right now in relationships now, and one of them things is lacking. He might got the money, ain't slinging no wood, and he's not emotionally connected to her. She's gonna leave. It's a matter of time. Like her emotions are running daily off the supply of money, and one day she's gonna leave. That's my thought on the leverage thing.
And real quick, I'll push. Did you want to finish and then I'll push back, or?
Let me hear what you got.
So as far as the leverage goes, I think a lot of what they're talking about is, we would agree that there are those women out there who are just all about money, right?
Mm-hmm. They're going to leave regardless.
Right. There are guys out there who are all about looks, right? So if you're one of those women who are all about money and the guy comes in with said money, he absolutely has the leverage. You know what I mean? Because he has what you want. And I agree with you. It's never about like a real connection.
Yeah, it's temporary.
It's temporary, but she will get kicked out before she decides to leave her on her own, because if she really wants the money. So if you're in that situation where, and it kind of goes back to my thing, like if I'm in a situation with a woman, she makes a lot of money and she tries to flex that money on me, she's gone. Now she'll go out and tell people, right? She'll go out and tell people, he was just insecure because I'm a boss baby and I got all this money. Like, nah, I left you because, you know what I mean, you a bad fit. You want some bullshit. You was leaning on that. Now, if I'm one of those, like you call them dusties, if I'm one of the dusties, I'm never going to leave her because she got me with the money.
Well, it's the other side to it is, how can I say it? The women who make all this money and try to rank themselves up here, truthfully, if you talk to them long enough, actually not even long enough, they got low self-esteem too. They know.
Yes, they do.
80%, probably 90% nowadays. Most people got low self-esteem. They don't believe in themselves. But to the weak guy who don't got no money, because of his attitude and his feeling weak because she got the money, that's the reason that they might actually match up and stick together for 3 months. Then she treat him like trash and walk away because he's willing to deal with it because of his lack of confidence. She's willing to deal with him because of her lack. She knows she can't get me and she can't get you. He's the next best thing. A guy willing to stay or kind of stay. Would you agree?
I see where you're coming from, but I would always say that the top tier guy, those dudes that have the bread and all that kind of stuff, They hold the leverage when you're dealing with women who only want that status, who only want that security, who only wants that money, who only wants that type of lifestyle.
Yeah,
Now, when you start getting into the lower tiers, yes, then I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, I can agree. And even with the money, if she's just chasing money, she's not relationship material anyway. There's a matter of time where it's going to crash.
Exactly. At some point, he's going to get rid of her. And he's going to get the next new thing. Absolutely.
Right. If he's smart, he'll be the one throwing her out. If he's not smart, she'll take him to the cleaners and get half, and then she'll walk out. Right. But usually people, or it should be, most people who have money have some kind of common sense. That's why they got the money in the first place.
Common sense in certain things, but not so common sense in others. You know what I mean? Most people struggle with the relationship thing. But you had something else too you wanted to push on.
Myron said, I don't want to get married, or I don't want to fall in love, because when you fall in love, the women, we don't love. My thing, nothing against Myron, because lifestyle, he dropped fire. But I think a lot of people are focused and put women, they marinate, they go jump in a swimming pool full of modern women, and they rank all women as modern women. They look at them, they smell them, they're all modern women. Women who are wives, that's not even a conversation. Honestly, you can cry in front of a real one. Those women, you can actually shed a tear and they'll still be there. It won't ragdoll you. You can fall in love and they will still be there. People who are married are in love, fell in love, stayed in love. It's just a matter of, can you get one of them? And I can't say with someone I'm just as single as he is. Right. But I've had women, like I say, when I ever tell my story, I'm not married, so I can't say I've got it all, I'm Mr. Whatever. But there are women that I've dated that liked me, loved me for exactly the person I was. And they went out, and because of whatever I didn't do or we didn't stay together, they went and became wives, and they're still wives to somebody else, which means these were wives. Mm-hmm. They're on Facebook. I still see it. Working with that man. But all women aren't these modern women, and they all do this, and you can't love them, and you can't. I don't get it. Yes, you can. That's my disagreement. Who's that at the bottom?
That's Brother Hayoka right there, man. What's good, fam?
Okay. I don't see the real icon. I see the
yeah.
Hey.
What's good?
Two things. I think it relates to both of the issues you brought up. Because of hypergamy and it being based from a biological standpoint, it doesn't matter whether you say modern or traditional. The point is this the best man that I can get? And so if it's the best man that I can get, then I'm all for it from a female perspective. But because hypergamy actually means to marry up, it's an opportunistic type of love. Your woman will never love you like your mother loved you. Your mother, as was pointed out, your mother loves you for you because she birthed you. Your woman loves you because you provide for her, you support her. And so the thing about it is those are two different types of love. So when you look at women today, they're all the descendants of women who chose the victor. A woman, even when young, has to make a decision as to what type of man she's going to deal with, whether this is the best that I can do, who's going to be able to take care of me and my kids and me long term. So when you look at it, it's a different type of love than the type of love that we as males have, because we have the kind of love that was given to us by our mothers. So we look at our mothers generally in the same fashion. We have a different type of love than that.
You don't believe that there are women who love their husbands now? Talking about already there, not once dating. You don't believe that there are women who love their men unconditionally right now?
Well, and I would say yes. Now let Brother Hayoka go, but Sister Candace put it right here. A man who finds a wife finds a good thing. A woman must be a wife first. So yeah, to answer your question, Dusto, yeah, bro, there are good women out there, and Brother Hayoka,
only 6 of them, but yeah,
hey,
only 6 of them left.
Maybe 8, maybe 8.
Wow. But I would say that yes, it is possible for a woman to love a man just as deeply as a man loves a woman, but you still have to take into account the biological aspect of where it comes from. It's not to say that people are not above or can't have a true relationship and love, but it is with the understanding, okay, that the exception doesn't make the rule. what you find in most of life is, what can you do for me? Even Janet Jackson had a song, "What have you done for me lately?"
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Back in the
and
day.
so yeah, back in the day. So it's not a situation where you can't find a woman that doesn't love you. What it is the understanding of the type of love that a woman has. It doesn't. Your mother loves you for your survival because she birthed you.
I get what you're saying.
So she has a vested interest.
I'm
Your
saying
woman,
once they sign, okay. Once there's the "what have you done for me?" Like, you're right. Oh, I'm explain it.
Explain
There's
it
only
quick
a few
because
things.
hold
Okay, I
on,
got
fellas. I'm gonna say explain it quick. Looks like Suzette, Sister Suzette Speaks went live. I want to get over there and help. I'm gonna do some stuff for her. Plus, we're over 2 hours, so
you. Yeah, I'll
I
swing over there
I,
and
I
harass her
would
too.
say, yeah.
She's
Well,
pretty
see, you
cool.
like to harass. I'm gonna ninja watch a little
No, I'm
bit.
clowning. She's cool for real.
Yeah, and Sister Candace said, Brother Hayoka is talking about unconditional love. Many will argue that doesn't exist in relationships, sexual and like all love has some sort of condition. And I want to say this, and I'm gonna let Brother Dusto go into the final thoughts, and then Brother
Uh-huh.
Hayoka go into his. There's a lot of talk about like the way we are designed, like our biology and stuff like that, which I definitely accept. You know what I mean? But there are a lot of people who try to fight it. And I think that's where we get into this modern day thing where people are trying to fight their own biology and what they really want versus what, what they think they should have versus what they really want. And I think that's where we are now with this red pill, blue pill, feminism, manosphere stuff and all that. But let's move into final thoughts. And I'm going to let Brother Heck, I'm going to let Brother Dusto go first.
Yeah, with a mother love and spouse love, they're two totally different things. You're talking about somebody who was raised that came out of you, and you're responsible for that person for the first 18 years. It's just different. But I get what you're saying, and because they're different, might be why. You automatically are a family when you're born to your mother. There's no separation. But spouse, you found each other, however, whenever, and trying to make something work. But final thought, yes, there's still some good women out there. You see me in the other chats clowning, trolling, because hey, 80% of them, they garbage. They're overweight, wigs, buying all this other stuff. But yeah, there's some great women still out there, and it's going to take a level of positivity and influence to get to these women. So I just don't see why the need of always grouping as these women or they're all like this. That's just my opinion.
That's what's
But
up,
yeah,
man. And where can everybody find you, bro?
I can be found in the dusty sphere. There's the deal. We asked people to do better, go get on their purpose and make money, be productive for the community. And they said no. They said they're not going to do it. So let's just troll them and clown them anyway. I mean, why not? So I dedicated 30 minutes on Thursdays to dusting people off, making silly stuff. And some of y'all stressed out. Y'all need to laugh anyway. Look at you. So come to the Dust Fair on the Black Man on Filters Network, or you see me on random panels clowning and giving people hell, or just cracking on somebody. It is what it is. I'm trying to get like DL and be a professional comedian one day. You never know.
Hey, we can make that happen, bro. We got shows coming up. I got to tell you. But matter of fact, remind me next time we talk. I got some information for you. So thanks so much for coming, bro. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it, y'all. I'll be hollering at you later. I'll see you over at Suzette's, bro. Peace.
All right, swing over there.
All right. Peace. Brother Hayoka, your final thoughts.
in relationship to what the brother just said, I remember the joke where they said Michelle Obama and Barack were at a dinner, and the chef was someone that Michelle had went to school with, and Barack looked over and said, "You know, if you had married him, you would be married to a chef." She said, "No, if I had married him, he'd be president." The thing about it is that what you see, a woman looking at you looks at your potential. She looks at your future. And so in looking at your future, is this the best that I can do? And because of that, what happens is that Barack looked over and he thought, oh, well, she would have been married to a chef. She was like, no, I'd be married to the president because I see the potential. We as men don't have the same outlook or viewpoint as women do. And we don't have the same needs. When they say provide and protect, it's not something that you would look for a woman to do. So my outlook is that because of that, a woman's going to take the best thing going And and don't get me wrong, it's totally logical to me, but the problem that we as men have is the thought that the way we love, because of the bond between a mother and a child, we look, as the brother pointed out, for 18 years, this is what you got. Then you come out into the world and all of a sudden it's not what it is. It's not what you think, because your mother is not your woman. And so that's I guess my viewpoint on it. And I'm not going to keep you because I know you got to go, but thank you for having me.
Bro, that was fire, man. I like what you said there. Like Michelle said, nah, if I married him, he'd be president. That's gangster right there, bro. I wonder in that relationship who was willing to walk away. My money's on Michelle. Thanks for coming up, bro. You got to get an icon, man. You should get Quan Gu, the Chinese god of war. That's be like your icon for your
What are you talking about?
You know what I mean? I think that'll be fire, bro. Thanks for coming up here, man. Appreciate you. I appreciate you having you up here, always supporting, always dropping them dimes. I'm about to use that one, man. Now Michelle said, nah, if I married him, he'd be president. Fire. So I'm gonna talk to you later, bro. You got me thinking now.
And again, I hope your daughter gets better. You take care.
Shit. Hey, thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Peace. Yo, here we go, man. Hey, wow. He blew my mind with that shit. Michelle said, nah, if I'd have married him, he'd be president. That's fire right there. That's pimptastic right there. Michelle's a big old pimp. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Yo, that's the end of the show, man. I know we went a little long. I try to keep them under 2 hours, but sometimes we go a little long. And we were able to get through that. That's my breakdown. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I got to give the win to Myron. Myron went in there and did his job, his mission. He went in on a mission and he accomplished his mission 100%. Cheyenne kind of walked into an ambush. She had no idea what was going on. She thought she was going on a date, wound up being in the middle of a big old debate. But shout out to her. I can't wait to see her in Miami. She'll be in Miami at some point. I'm gonna definitely go down there and be present when they have that conversation at the Fresh and Fit studio, and also be trying to make her just network and maybe introduce her to some other people down there. Maybe we can get her to do an interview with Suzette Speaks. Wouldn't that be nice? So thank y'all for rocking out with me, man. I really truly appreciate each and every one of you. Wonderful 34 is in here, but hey, man, for everybody who's been donating, that's what I got to cheer, and I'm working on getting a camera for everyone who's been donating. I really appreciate it. The money goes right back into the operation. I don't take that money to the strip club, not that money. I got other money for that. But that was a great show. I'm about to jump over and check out Suzette Speaks. Brother Mike, thank you for that information. And he's like, thank you, Uncle. And I appreciate you, bro. Sister Candace, women are concerned with the man's future. Men are concerned with the woman's past. Myron Gains, yes, absolutely 100% facts. I do agree with that wholeheartedly. Have a great evening, chat. Sisters Candace, Queen Candace, you have a good evening, love. Always here. I am honored to have you here. You know what I mean? The #1 mod in YouTube, in the YouTube galaxy. That's what it is. Peace to everyone. That's Brother Hayoka. Peace to you, bro. You keep rushing. You keep getting stronger. Brother Michael Best Show, I appreciate that. Thanks to everyone who was on here. Thanks to Dusto. You know what I mean? Brother Terus, who was in the chat. Everybody who was in the chat. I'm sorry we had so many. I can't even keep up anymore. But yo, we are done. I'm DL Saint. This is the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast. And those were my final thoughts. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace. Oh, I got to get the button ready. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Darn, that's the end.